going on, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Viall Files Reality Recap Edition. I am your host, Nick, and boy, everyone in America is pissed at the producers of Love Island. We will definitely get into it. So much to talk about. We have a very special guest. Paul Scheer returns to the Viall Files. He was on a long time ago during COVID. Actor, comedian, been on many shows, starred in the show The League, very popular show, very funny guy. He's watching Love Island. He's also very deep into the Karen Reed case, the Sherry Papini case. We'll talk about some true crime and the true crime that is the Love Island producers right now, coming up shortly. Lots to get into. Obviously, many of you have already heard the Jeremiah Going Deeper episode. If you are living under a rock, it is out yesterday. Check it out. Sadly, my wife, Natalie, was not there. Obviously, things move fast in Love Island. She was on a business trip. She was guest starring on The Toast. And I, as a husband of my wife, Natalie, was very proud of my wife. I think we're the best show in town, but I have mad respect for the women of The Toast. They are OGs. They've been crushing the podcast game long before I even started. And I'm very flattered, and I think it's very cool that my wife was asked to host The Toast. I thought it was pretty amazing. So if you haven't heard that, check it out. Go listen to it. But sadly, she couldn't join us for the Jeremiah episode. I hope I handled myself well without her. But did you have fun talking with Jackie?
I did. I had fun. I was very nervous, very anxious going into it. I know the Toasters, they have high expectations, and they can be, a little opinionated.
It's a very organized and very passionate audience.
Yeah.
But it's Claudia and Jackie. No, they have their dynamic.
They have their dynamic. So I was very nervous stepping in, especially stepping into the shoes of Claudia, like big, big, big shoes to like try to even come close to filling. But I had so much fun. Jackie is such a sweetheart. And I feel like my ability to not do math has bitten me in the ass. Because she was you and Nick have an age gap. And I'm like, yeah, 18 years. She's like, so how old were you when you met him? I'm like, 21. She's like, how old was Nick? And I'm like, fast math. Like, how fucking dare you, first of all?
Yeah.
So, like, that's rude. Give me a second to calculate it. I'm like, he was 37. I think followed the 37. And now everyone's like, well, if I do the math, that means you were 19 years old. I'm like, no. I know I was 21. I was present in my body currently in that time period. So I do know that I was 21 years old. Now, Nick.
Natalie uses her fingers to do simple addition, just to like, not to call out my wife, but like it's.
How do you count?
Yeah. No, I don't. I go like, pointer finger as one.
If she needs to add 3 to 4, she's using fingers.
Yeah. I'm like 3, 4. Okay, perfect. Wait, was that 2?
You might as well.
That's what they're there for.
Literally, they're there for a reason. You might as well use them.
They are called digits.
Yeah, they are called digits. Yeah, no, anyway, so Nick, he was not 37. He was 38. And then a couple weeks later turned 39.
We met right before my birthday.
Yes. Now that I have had a moment to think about it and do the math calculations properly.
Who gives a fuck?
Honestly, we're married with a child. We've, almost had 2 more children.
It just is.
Now it just guest hosted on The Toast, which most of you couldn't even handle that kind of pressure. She was also performing surgeries when I met her. So
thanks, baby.
Suck it,
Oh my God.
But it's just like, you get caught up in the moment. The math was not, I was put on the spot. So, but other than that, I do believe it was a very great experience. I am very sad to have missed Jeremiah because I did want to see his face in front of my face. Through a very beautiful man.
He's handsome. It's breathtaking. And I was really impressed. I mean, like, I think America loves him right now. Everyone feels he got screwed over, but go listen to the episode. But I really, I wasn't like drilling him with questions, but like, he's well-spoken, he's thoughtful, he's considerate, he's got a face that could allow him to take advantage of life. And he seems to be very conscious and wanting to hold himself accountable. I don't know, maybe you guys will think differently. Check out the episode if you haven't already. Share your thoughts, obviously, in the comments of what you thought. We won't be reading them anyways, but like comment away, like have some discourse. Well, I won't. I don't read the comments. Also joining us this episode, Hannah from Love Island joins us to talk about her exit and everything she experienced at the villa. Any big headline? Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom broke up. Guess he couldn't get over the space trip.
Surprised? No one saw that coming.
Oh my God. Wait, I think it was less of the space trip and more of like the farting and shitting on stage.
She farts and shits on stage.
Wait, she like has
what?
a whole
Excuse
like
me?
toilet with like poop coming out of it, and then she like
Excuse me? Is this
yeah.
true?
Honestly, clips from that tour is the most bizarre thing ever. That
Is
I'm
that-
like, yes,
is that-
I could see
that-
how one gets
That's
the cringe.
true.
She like opens her legs and drops things
can't
like
be-
between her
no.
legs.
It's
This
like
is
a
this
fake
is a
poop. It's like a puppet
swear.
poop.
A puppet poop, yeah. So-
Yeah,
No,
there's
she's
like a
not wrong.
big there's a
She's-
big toilet on
And
her
there's
stage.
a giant turd with a face
yeah.
that comes out.
It's like a puppet
yeah.
poop. Yeah.
So I
Is
feel
this
like
like a
maybe
prop or she
Yeah.
literally
She's
shits?
No, it's a
No, she's
puppet.
sitting on like the rolls of toilet paper.
And like there's a giant toilet next to her with a giant puppet turd
What a goofy
coming
gal.
out with a face.
Did you see
What a
the
goofy
Orlando? Did you
gal.
see him, the like his morning meditations and his seances where it was like at least she doesn't have to hear this anymore. Everyone has their quirks, you know. No, two beautiful people. I'm sure they'll both be fine. We wish them nothing but the best.
Right.
Yeah,
Really.
But Red Lobster's got a big comeback.
never
I'm
been.
excited about this. See,
Red
I've never
Lobster?
either.
Maybe I'll come back for the first time. I don't know. I think.
Wait,
what?
didn't
Flavor Flav
Flavor
save
Flav,
it?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, Flavor
Yeah,
Flav, when
he
they
saved
first filed
Red
for
Lobster.
bankruptcy, was the first to be like, "This cannot happen." And it seems like the
Bankruptcy.
Darden family, they own, I believe, Red Lobster. I only know that because as an employee of the Olive Garden in college, I had to watch like about the Olive Garden company, and I learned that Red Lobster and Olive Garden.
Your
were
training
owned.
video?
Yeah, it was like It was
Were
like
you a
weird.
waiter? You were a waiter, right?
I was. Yeah.
Nick, if you go to Red Lobster, I already know you're going to be obsessed with the biscuits.
No, they
that's
literally
funny.
make
Nick's
those
gonna be the one
biscuits.
asking
they're,
for more.
They're in the freezer section at the grocery store. We don't need to save Red
the-
Lobster for the
no,
biscuits.
but the
We can
fresh
buy them at the
ones-
grocery
I used to
store.
always
fresh
fight
ones?
with. I used to always fight with the assistant manager at the Olive Garden because the rule of thumb for the unlimited breadsticks was if it was a 4-top, you give them 5 breadsticks, like how many people you have plus 1 more. And I would just be like, "Here's 9 breadsticks. I don't know, just eat the fucking bread. It's unlimited, like you know." And
You're a
he
homie.
would constantly
You're a
scold
homie
me
for
that I was giving away too much bread, and I never listened.
You said it's unlimited. They're just going to ask for more anyway.
Yeah, it's unlimited, man. Like, what are we doing here?
5 is not unlimited.
So
Uh,
what is
I
Red
wonder if they
Lobster's
sell
big
those
comeback?
breadsticks.
They hired the former CEO of PF Chang's, who like is like 35 years old. It's like some boy genius. Anyway,
Whoa.
What is the big comeback of Red Lobster?
That they're offering now seafood boil bags, which love those. Sangria flights and $5 drinks hit the menu, so they're giving what the people are asking for.
The boil bag I want.
The boil bag we're looking
That
for. I
sounds
think they're just
disgusting.
trying
You can
to
get
like
that on Amazon. What?
You can get a
Boil?
boil
What do you
bag
mean
on
a boil
Amazon.
bag?
on Amazon.
Yes, you
No,
can.
it's like like a seafood boil, like where they put like
Yeah.
lobster and
Shrimp,
and
potatoes, corn,
Thank you.
spices, Cajun.
Justin and I are going on a date.
I've never had it, but I want
yeah.
God. Good luck. I hope y'all return.
I don't know. I don't.
the only
I've
restaurant
never
like that
eaten
I fuck with
seafood.
is Sizzler.
That's
it. Oh,
great.
Sizzler is good though.
But they have like a $7 steak.
But the cheese toast?
No.
Yeah, you just slap some A1 steak sauce on. That's the
Two-
only, like I love A1 steak sauce, but as a steak snob, like if you're cooking a good enough steak, you don't put steak sauce on it. But like Sizzler is
Right.
my excuse to like have A1 sauce.
I was gonna say we all have our gross things, and let Red Lobster be ours, and Sizzler can be yours.
Yeah.
Well, Justin Baldoni is not revising his claims against Blake Lively after the $400 million lawsuit was dismissed, even though his lawyer came out guns a-blazing, being like, well, we can still file. And all the Justin stands were like, no, this doesn't mean anything. He can still file. Well, it turns out because they don't have a case at all, they're actually not going to refile. And I feel like the truth is starting to reveal itself. This is all just a PR stunt to like just, beat down Blake Lively and her team. But we'll see. I think it goes to court in early 2026. But yeah, looks like he won't be refiling that what I believe to be a bullshit retaliation move. But hey, I guess we'll see.
I mean, on the topic of Blake Lively, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce made their red carpet debut at the opening night of his Tight End University.
Oh,
Which is this is the first time they've
they
been
have
on
a red carpet
together?
for Tight End University? Is that really? That's really become an event. It was
feel
meant to be like they'd bring all like the tight ends from around the league to like mentor them, coach them up. Like it was like a
Well, it was held at Jason Aldean's bar in Nashville. The red carpet, I imagine, is like a backdrop.
There is a red carpet. It's not like a stereotypical Hollywood red
feet?
carpet, but the carpet's red.
I'm just like, do they need to make a red carpet debut when they like made out in the middle of like the stadium after he won the Super Bowl. Like I feel like that's like that would take
Well, I
precedence.
guess it's just the first time they're on a red carpet together.
Just standing on it.
For like a gala
Just
or
like
something kind of.
I mean, it's
vibe.
the same thing with like Timothy and Kylie, you know, like they were seen at every event together, kissing and stands and doing this and that. And then the second they like walked the red carpet together, it was like, oh my God, they're actually a couple. It's like, y'all didn't get that from like them making out watching a tennis match. Like, what?
The last like 3 years.
What was the first red carpet that you guys were on together?
Was it the MTV?
I think MTV.
Ooh, what was Natalie's debut?
It was
Yeah.
the MTV
Unscripted Awards, hosted by Nikki Glazer.
Yeah. Yeah. It's when I sat at the same
Ooh.
table as Snooki and Viall and was like freaking the fuck out.
No, like it was her armpits were sweating. She was so nervous that she met the cast of Jersey Shore, and I was like, really? Like, no disrespect to that, iconic group of people. I didn't watch it back in the day, so I wasn't as excited. But Natalie was losing her goddamn mind, and
And I
J-Lo
remember
ended
Nick
up
was
going to their
like,
wedding.
he stepped away from me so that they could take solo shots, and all the paparazzi. It was kind of giving what they did to James Charles, where no one was really clicking. They were just like waiting for me to move along the carpet, you know.
little did they know
Little did they know
that she'd be
we'd get
hosting the
married.
toast.
and have
you know,
a baby and have a co-host.
Swirly.
I'm telling you guys, watch out. Natalie's on her path to be a big, big star. So I can just.
I honestly am scared. It just means more haters, and like I can't take it.
When you are a big star and people come to an event of yours, are you going to ignore them or are you going to pay attention to your fans?
I mean, I would hope that I would pay attention to my fans. I believe you're talking about Miley Cyrus and Naomi Campbell.
Here's the thing.
Speaking about Miley Cyrus and Naomi Campbell.
If you've saw me in the wild, like I really go out of my way. I hope I have good reactions. Natalie, I've always been aware of this, but like my resting gaze is unflattering. My resting bitch face is terrible.
No, your resting bitch face is what it is. It is a resting bitch face. It doesn't have to be terrible.
Even when I talk, Natalie says I look grumpy. I have a grumpy demeanor.
Sometimes I'll be out in public and I'm like, you look like you actually fucking hate my guts. So I need you to just walk around smiling
I just have
ear
an
to ear.
introverted
people know.
demeanor. I'm just like, I'm a judgy person. Anyway, like there's a reason why the Viall Files hasn't gone on the road. And this is a reason why I don't do meet and greets. And someday I hope that we do like some kind of like live event. And when I do, I will be amped up and ready to fucking go. But like what I don't do is shit I know that I'm not naturally good at. And it's just like, no, like just don't do this shit. And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Miley Cyrus and Naomi Campbell, they did like an autograph session where they sat at a table and fans came up, took pictures, yada, yada. And usually like, when I wrote my book and I did a book signing, you want to have a small conversation, even if it's like 15 seconds with each person, ask me a few questions, like try to get to know them, like personalize the interaction, and then like, take a picture. Apparently Miley and Naomi were just like talking with each other, signing the books, and just like not even interacting with the fans, which is like obviously is going to come across a certain way. And listen, I get it. Like maybe like there's a lot of like celebrities out there who are introverted, who like are anxious and like are not good at social interactions because like, listen, fans can be kind of weird, and they can ask uncomfortable questions, but don't do that shit if you're not good at it, like you don't need the money.
I feel like Miley Cyrus would be good at it. That's why I'm a little shocked by this. And maybe she just hadn't seen Naomi Campbell in a while. And she was like, oh my God, we have so much to catch up
maybe
on.
She got caught. Yeah, maybe she just
maybe it was like
moment.
They realized that they should have gotten maybe a dinner beforehand or like a coffee beforehand to catch up and get that out of the way.
I do think Miley, though, cared. Like, you remember when she just had her thing where people bought tickets to see her speak at a panel, but they thought that they were buying concert tickets. And then they were like heckling her and begging her to sing some of her songs. And then she sang Climb.
I'm team
like,
Miley there. I think that was whoever was running the event, their fault. I think.
No, but to Leia's point, that does prove that like she's not that type
she cares
of
about her
celebrity.
fans.
She does care.
Yeah.
Like, if that were me, I would have been like, I'm not singing. Like, y'all came to a talking panel. I haven't done my, like, voice
maybe it was
exercises. I'm not prepared, But Miley was like, you know what? I'll give it to you. And she gave them what? The Climb? Like, she didn't just give them a We Can't Stop. She gave them The Climb. Iconic.
Right. The best one.
Is this story coming from, like, a 10-second video?
Well, she like seemingly has spoken out about the backlash. She said she added a photo of herself with Naomi, and like a bunch of videos
She's
of
like,
like
loved
them
catching up with you last night,
vinyls.
girl. Let's do it again.
Yeah, she wrote, our vinyl was originally set to drop a week later, but since we were both in London, Rough Trade East made it happen day of. Her caption began, I wanted to gift my smilers an exclusive experience and unreleased vinyl to thank you for the love you've shown me in the UK over the years. I saw so many familiar faces and met some sweet new ones.
Is this story originating from like a 10-second clip, or are there multiple accounts of like them ignoring fans for the entire length of this event?
I only saw one video.
Oh, so this could be coming from one salty fan.
She's saying that the record store requested no photos due to the unexpected last-minute turnout.
That makes sense.
Okay, so the one person, Miley, like turned to Naomi and was like, hey, girl, you have like a little spinach in your tooth. And then they were talking about how she has a spinach in her tooth. And then it was one fan.
Yeah, I changed my mind. I apologize for any of the criticism or anything I said that's felt like criticism. I feel like this is a handful of fans' salty interaction.
Yeah, it's in one particularly awkward clip from her live stream.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
we shouldn't have even talked about it. Honestly, we gave him air we didn't need to give.
Sorry, Miley.
I wish I had that back.
Paul's here. Let's bring in Paul Scheer. Let's get into what many of you are here to talk about, to vent, to share your frustrations, talk a little Love Island.
We can all feel the cultural shift away from alcohol, but most alternatives just don't cut it. We'd like to introduce to you Breeze, spelled B-R-E-Z. Whether you're looking to spark creativity, stay grounded, or unwind, their new line of feel-good tonics has you covered from AM to PM.
Each of their 3 functional blends are crafted with adaptogens, mushrooms, and botanicals to support your ideal mood state. Breeze is more than just a beverage. It's an evolution in drinking as we know it. And trust me, you will feel the difference. It's a non-alcoholic, non-cannabis, sparkling tonic infused with adaptogens and nootropics to help you feel uplifted, focused, and motivated without the crash. Integrate into your daytime routine before a workout, creative session, or social plans.
The zesty, refreshing watermelon lime is juicy and bright with a touch of citrus tang. Benefits including 9% juice, organic ingredients, USA-grown mushrooms, vegan, non-GMO, and non-alcoholic. You can buy these online at drinkbreeze.com or at your local Sprouts.
If you are looking for elevated focus, cognitive function, and mood support, Breeze is your go-to drink.
Consult with a physician before use if you're a pregnant, nursing, have any known or suspected allergies or medical conditions, or are taking any medications. FDA has not evaluated these products for safety or efficacy. Products are intended for adults.
Head to try.drinkbreeze.com/VIALL and use code VIALL for a $5 credit plus free shipping on your first order.
try.drinkbrez.com.
There's just about something for every room in your house with Wayfair. We have talked a lot about it recently, but we got this beautiful teak outdoor table from Wayfair that we are absolutely obsessed with. We love it. We have some outdoor dinners. We hang out there. It looks stunning. It was easy to put together. It's amazing what Wayfair has to offer for your outdoor space. Honestly, if you think of it, chances are Wayfair has it. They have bars. They got trampolines. They got pizza ovens. They got so much more. They got lounge chairs, bean bags. It really doesn't matter what you need. Wayfair has it all. And if it's not your outdoor space, you need to upgrade. Well, don't worry. They got every room in your house covered. When it came to our studio, our office, we relied on Wayfair. Our side tables are from Wayfair. They have great coffee tables, bed frames, everything you can think of.
Free and easy delivery, even on the big stuff. No more huge delivery fees for patio furniture. Get big stuff like patio sets, gazebos, hot tubs, outdoor dining sets, and more shipped free. Find all your outdoor must-haves from seating to garden trellises to pool lounges to trampolines, all in one convenient space. There's something for every style and every home, no matter your space or budget. Don't wait. Make your outdoor space your dream oasis today with Wayfair and enjoy it all summer long. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop a huge outdoor selection. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home.
Hey, Paul.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being there. Sorry we couldn't be there in person and we are off site, but thanks for coming in. It's great to talk to you again virtually. We're excited to get into everything we're about to talk about, but I just want to check in with you. Like, how's life? How have you been?
I've been good. It's so funny. I feel like I saw you for such a long time in a short period of time, but then it's been a while since I've seen you. I'm still not seeing you in person, but yeah, things are good. You know, I got kids. Work is good. I'm right now solo dadding because my wife has been away shooting a show. So that has been intense.
And I was actually going to bring that up. Natalie took a work trip the other this past 2 days, and
Yeah.
I was solo dadding for only 48 hours. Shout out to the single parents out there.
Oh my God. Look, I grew up, my parents were divorced. I had a mom and a dad that were both taking turns, but man, oh man, I always have respect. But once you do it, I've been doing it since March. It is intense.
Yeah, it's
since March.
you
March.
you
My
love
wife
your
does come
kids
home
and
a
all,
bunch.
but like you can't when they're up, you can't like really focus on anything else.
No,
It's-
you are just full in. It's when you have a kid, your anxiety is always going to be a little bit like raised because you have to be responsible for another human being. And then when you are solo parenting, it never drops. Like there are moments where I'm like, oh, if I sleep in, June will get this, but there's no other person looking out. So I feel like my anxiety is so high. So when she comes home, I feel like I've been hit by a Mack truck. I'm like, oh my God. For the first time I can relax.
when June gets back, are you gonna be like, all right, I need to check out for like 48 hours and get some me time, or
No, I can't do that. But
You're so real.
Yeah. I mean, but here's the thing. When she's home, I'm also excited because we have the family back together, and
Sure.
it's great to have the family back together. But yeah, no, there's no like now I got to check out.
Yeah. No golf
Oh,
trip
no,
planned.
Yeah.
Danny left for a week, and when he got back, I was like, I am not changing a diaper for the next 24 hours. I am not waking up. I'm not doing anything. Like, this kid is yours.
You see, June is really good because she definitely lets me sleep in when she gets back, which is that, and by the way, sleeping in now, as we all know,
It's 6:30.
yeah, exactly. Right. It's like somebody asked me how my day was. I'm like, my day it's 9 a.m. right now. I'm like, I've been up, I've done stuff. Life has happened. And to remember when life hasn't happened before 9 a.m., it's like,
It's a crazy thought.
it's really crazy.
I took River to the grocery store yesterday to try to get some groceries before Natalie got back, and River decided that she did not want to ride in the grocery cart. And I had to carry
Oh my
her the
God.
entire time. And it wasn't
Oh
like a
my
little
God.
fit. It was this screaming if I put her in the cart. And like when you have a screaming child in a public area, you're like, please stop screaming.
It looks like you're
I'm a good
kidnapping.
parent.
Yeah.
Like, please stop.
No, yeah. I mean, a lot of my work is just convincing people in public that I am a good parent because
Have you had your kids like come home and you realize they learned about a topic from like a friend that you were like not prepared for them to learn?
oh, yeah. I mean, my son came home from school this year. He sat me down and he's like, Dad, can I talk to you about something? And I was like, yeah, sure. And he's like, you want to sit down for this? I was like,
Oh, no.
okay. Yeah. And I was like, okay. And he's like, do you know about the Holocaust? And I go, yeah. And he goes, pretty rough. I was like, yeah. Like, but my son is like trying to teach me about the Holocaust. And I was like, and that was intense. I was like, okay, yeah. Like, so he's always dropping stuff on me. He's bringing a lot of heat. And then, nothing, he's only 11 and the other one's 8. So nothing overtly like sexual. Every now and then he might say, well, actually he did say this. He goes, what's 69 mean?
Oh,
And that I really avoided. I just said, it's a
a
sexual
number.
position.
It's a number before 70.
Yeah, he knew it was something with sex. So I have to like address that it is sex. But I think his knowledge of what sex is also vague. So I
Yeah.
just try to keep it vague. Everything is vague.
Have you had the birds and the bees conversation with him yet, or does that come later?
No, my wife is actually amazing because I think that she was very open about saying, when you have a question, we will talk about it. And my want is to do that. It's always a little bit uncomfortable, but it actually has been really great because she will just go there. And it's kind of like, I'm sharing with you information and here it
Neutral.
is. Yeah, it's neutral. And I feel like because of that, we've opened ourselves up to a lot more conversations. They're aware of things, but they're not like deeply aware of it. And they know to come to us with questions. Like my wife was like, you need to talk to him about pornography and how, if he wants to watch it, where he can watch it and we have to do ethically sourced. And I was like, oh, I don't even know how to find ethically sourced. I mean, I was like, now I'm doing research on how to find, ethically sourced porn. And she's like, it was easier for you. Back in your day, you could have magazines now. So we're trying to have these conversations. We're just trying to be prepared.
You're
we want
like-
to be parents that actually
You're like biblical how do you?
I'm trying to figure it out. It's not like going to Whole Foods. Yeah, it's like.
Like, this is on my search history.
Yeah. Then your wife's like, "What the fuck were you doing?" And you're like, "No, I was
trying to teach our
him."
Research. I promise it was research.
Yeah, so it's like it is a constant. I love having kids. It's a constant battle of just being hit with things, and you want to be a good parent that leads. My parents never talked to me about sex.
Yeah.
My parents never talked to me about anything like that. So you want to be open. It's just like when it comes to you, you are never fully prepared. You just aren't. But it is fun because I feel like once they know that they can talk to you, then it feels like hopefully that relationship will stay and they can have an open door.
Yeah.
I don't think that my parents even know that I have had sex yet.
I hope not. I just had a kid, but I'm still hoping.
I'm like, you don't think that
immaculate conception.
Exactly.
And if they know we had sex because we have a kid, it's only for the purposes of children. It's not for enjoyment. Like I definitely do not have sex to enjoy it.
Procreation only.
Procreation, not recreation.
Exactly.
Paul, you recently wrote a commercial for some prominent reality TV stars. Was it for Taco Bell? Am I remembering that correctly?
It's for Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' Donuts,
yeah.
sorry.
Dunkin' Donuts, yes. Dunkin' Donuts, there was a commercial we did called, it was basically I'm More Than a Snack. So it had like James Marsden, Charles Melton, Dylan Efron, and Tremel Tillman. So
that's
it was
a hot commercial.
Incredible cast.
It was insane. So we did this like commercial where these guys are, they're more than just hot guys, which is very similar to Dunkin' Donuts' $5 meal deal, which is more than a snack.
Yes. Wow.
I'm sold.
Listen, all you had to say to me was Dunkin' Donuts.
Dylan Efron.
And James Marsden.
Yeah. I mean, they were the most attractive guys I've ever seen on set. I mean, and when you're looking at them, you see everybody on set just like losing their minds.
Yeah.
Because these are people that are so attractive that the men, the women, every children, cars are stopping on the side of the road. It is a nonstop thing.
Natalie, not too long ago, I was like, I'm going to get back working out. We had Dylan on the show not too long ago. And then one day she sends me a text of this shirtless photo of Dylan looking great, by the way.
I accidentally
Looks great.
screenshotted it.
And it was this kind of like...
I accidentally made it my wallpaper
Yeah.
by accident.
Well, like Natalie, I met Natalie at 30, whatever. And she's seen photographs of when I was real jacked, and I'm still in decent shape, but I just like don't have the time anymore. So she feels a little screwed over. Like she didn't really get my best stuff, but she sent me a Dylan inspo photo. So it got me grinding.
I'm here to help.
Dylan can spend that time in the gym. We're talking about we're dads now, right? We can't get in the gym that much. My wife likes my body for what it is, and she gives me a lot of crap when I get too skinny. So she's never really pushing me.
I am the same way.
Yeah. Really? Okay.
Yes.
See. So yeah, there was a time where I was losing too much weight. When I was on Black Monday, I had to learn how to like rollerblade and I had to be shirtless. And that was tricky for me because I'm leaving the shirts off to the people who are doing the work. My shirt off isn't going to impress anybody, but I knew there was no greater motivator to be in shape than knowing that your shirt was coming off.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the hardest I worked. And I felt so good about my body. And I was like, here I am. And my wife's like, you're too skinny. And I was like, no, the one moment where I'm in
Let me have this.
Let me have this moment of being in shape. So she has not sent me those pictures, but every now and then we'll be watching, some reality show and she'll say something about, whether it's a person on a reality show or whether it's like an athlete, like a lot of these soccer players. She's like, oh, well, he's hot. I'm like, oh, now I can't compete with that. I'm feeling the pressure.
Were you always a reality TV fan or did June get you into it?
I think June has definitely opened my mind to it bigger. Like when I grew up loving The Real World. Like that was my shit. I love The Real World. I loved a show called Sorority Life. I still talk about Sorority Life because there was a season. First season was like like in San Diego and like hot young college kids running around. And then the second season they shot in Buffalo, New York during winter. So they went from like bikinis to people just in like parkas with hoods on. It was a terrible season of sorority life. People were depressed. And so I really like, that was like my stuff early on Survivor. And then I really got brought into Bravo, but I went to a different direction, which is I've been a big Summer House fan.
Same.
And I had to convince everybody to get on the Summer House train. I was a huge Bachelor fan. We did a show called Burning Love, which was a kind of a parody of that. Yeah. So I've always been a huge, I mean, reality TV is the best TV because the emotions, you get so much out of it. I will say, you know, I know we are all our Love Island fans. I heard the interview with Jeremiah. You know, what's hard about a show like that, and I do watch it, is there's so much of it. Like there is like, sometimes I feel like I'm like, there's more. Like I need a recap because it's like last night's episode or 2 nights ago was like an hour and 20 minutes. I'm like, this is massive. I have to get through this.
It's 2 nights in a row.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're getting, I mean, Love Island's on, I feel like 7 nights a week.
Oh yeah. I'm like, today's Wednesday, so we don't have an episode today. So now I got to go over to UK.
No, yeah. Sierra's on
I'm still emotional. How do you find the time?
Where there's a will, there's a way. I'm behind on UK, but like when I find an hour or two to just throw it in there, I'm just cramming in as many episodes as I can.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Because I am still emotionally scarred from what happened, I believe, last week, where they were drinking milk and then spitting milk into each other's mouths.
Mm.
That is, look.
Wait, and then pouring that milk,
Yes.
that regurgitated milk, onto another Islander.
I mean, it was hard.
Yeah.
It was like, there's nothing sexy about that ultimately, I don't think. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Like, look, that show, they're doing a lot of stuff that I'm like, let's go for it. I've seen more. The way the tongues come out, I feel like I'm watching a horror movie.
They
sometimes.
go right in with the tongues. I don't know if I don't.
Were we trained differently? Because I thought it was lips first and then
Yes,
tongue.
tongue is
Tongue
leading
is a
the
special
way.
occasion. That's a special occasion.
Yes.
That's not an everyday
it's almost
thing.
like a
The
key
tongue
to
is-
unlock a door. You know? It's weird.
Yes.
It's right in. It's like
I was like, that was the first kisses I was seeing when they had when Casa Amor and stuff. I was like, whoa, like, and it does make me question. I've been married for a very long time. You know, I've been out of the dating scene for a while. I enjoyed my time in that, but now I'm here. And when I watch that, I'm like, wow, things have changed, and I would not be able to keep
I'm
up.
safe.
Yeah.
No, I think with Love Island too, they're like, okay, this is my chance to make him love me,
Right.
or her love me, and I need to prove it with this one kiss. So I'm just gonna full send.
I mean, here's a question that I feel with that show. If a lot of these kisses are like blindfolded, or you don't know who's kissing you and stuff like that. Do you believe like part of a good kiss is the connection that you have? Like,
Yeah.
it's not just lips, right? It's just like, it's not just and that's what I think is so kind of hard. It's like, I think part of it is a mental and physical connection mixed, which is a great kiss, not just like, oh, they have a great kissing. I don't know.
Well, I think that's why so many of the cast are able to, like, when they do the challenges, it's almost to your point. It's like, it doesn't really count because it's like, it's just a challenge. It's like, I feel like it's like taking a work trip to a city you want a vacation to, but you don't really get to sightsee. You know, it's just like, you didn't, you know, it's like, oh, I went to Hawaii, but like I was at a conference for 3 days and then I flew back, and it doesn't really feel like you're at Hawaii. You know, I don't know. It's like they have these challenges and they're making out with like each other's friends, but it doesn't feel like they're doing anything wrong because it's so aggressive. They're dripped in warm milk, and it doesn't feel like they're really making connections. And it feels like that's must be what it's like.
I guess so. I mean, yeah, I just don't think I've ever had that many. I don't know if you can have a connection just based on a kiss. I feel like, because when that one guy in the last episode, when they're all blindfolded, he's like, that 2, 1.
TJ.
Yeah.
Fucking asshole. Hate
I
that
like
guy.
TJ. I like TJ.
That was so annoying.
But also, like, and I said this on the toast of like blindfolded kisses. It's like you can't startle me and then try to make out. Like, I need a second to get my nervous system down. You know, like I need to relax.
See?
I'm like, my blood pressure's raised. I'm like a little like nervous. Like, I'm not ready to kiss you yet. You know, I need a moment.
Well, what about Nick just like grabbing everybody's ass? And it's like, you don't know who that is.
You're just assuming.
Yeah, there is I mean, I think that what you're saying is right about the idea that like, they're like, I can do whatever I want. It's a challenge. But then you also see that like creeper side of people come out. You're like, whoa, all right. You're just going to grab that ass right away. But I think I think you nailed it with like the startling is like, there is like, you feel like these women are getting startled when their asses are getting grabbed. These guys, everyone's getting startled. they're just on a high adrenaline run on this thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know who I kissed, so there is no chemistry to be made after the fact. Even if you tell me, I'm like, I just kissed 6 people straight in a row.
They didn't even.
Do you remember it?
Do I remember number 3?
Yes.
And they didn't even say who was who. Like, they just left it right there. They were like, okay, so these were the women that you were kissing, but I'm not going to say who was 1, 2, 3, 4.
Nope.
5.
So odd.
Just
It's so odd. I do.
Paul, are you new to Love Island? Have you been watching it over the years?
I am new to Love Island.
Okay.
So this has been, I have heard a lot of talk about it. A lot of my friends had like kind of said, this is what you have to watch. And again, I'm home alone and I'm like, Love Island is on every night. It's treating me good. So yeah. And last night I watched a couple minutes of it with my kids, which was a mistake. But I will say this.
You're going to have a lot more explaining to do after
more.
watching the show.
But yeah, no, it's I'm kind of loving it because it reminds me of like the less serious reality shows that I love. I mean, that's what I kind of loved about like Bachelor in Paradise back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, and real like it's like it just is like fun reality where there were no real stakes. I feel like there's so much drama going on right now and backstory on a lot of the shows I love, and I love all that good stuff. But it's summertime. Let's just get some people making out and
have fun.
And
I have to say,
yeah.
it's not really gotten any fun recently. Recently, it's really made me pissed off. It's made me sad. It's like not the Love Island that it was last year, and I feel like they're doing way too much.
Yeah, so Paul, the big controversy right now is like, so as you know, we're in Casa Amor, and traditionally Casa Amor is meant to like stir up the couples, like whether they are closed off or not. At this point in the season, there are usually couples that have like made some connections, like Sierra and Nick, for example, like Shelly and Ace, you know, Arlandria and Taylor, and then they bring in obviously these bombshells and they flip flop, and then they see if, you know, now that they're separated, do they make new connections? Do they make out? Do they kiss? Like last season, it was a lot of drama, you know, and then these couples, these singles, when they return to the villa, they find out whether their partner that they were in a relationship with, coupled up with before they left for Casa, do they return single, excited to get back to that connection that they were in? Or do they return holding hands with someone new to shake shit up? And then a few episodes later, there's this thing called movie night, where then they show clips of what happened in Casa Amor.
Well, before the move, while they're apart, they get like text messages of videos of pictures of what their person is doing at Casa Amor or back at the villa with the new bombshells. So maybe that they get a video of like Nick making out with Jaden, and then Sierra's like, you know what, fuck it. Now I'm like really going into with
so she's able to go off.
Yeah, and it's always like, you know, it's like out of context stuff. So like maybe there's more, maybe there wasn't more, but it really fucks with these people. This is the part of the season that people like anticipate, wait for. It's like it's the heart and soul. It's the center of the watermelon, you know? It's like, it's the best part.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they're just like fucking with the whole format. All Casa Amor has been all this constantly recoupling. Like we called Leia last night, and Leia made a great point. It's just like, they're not focused on like making these new connections with the bombshells in Casa Amor. They're just trying to survive, right? They're like, it's just like, oh, well, if you don't recouple in 24 hours, you might be gone. It's just like, so it's all just gamesmanship. And now you're eliminating, no one believes that Nick and Arlandria are actually being dumped. The Instagram, the social pages of Love Island USA is basically like, everyone's freaking out online. Everyone's pissed. There's a lot of accusations of overproduction, overproducing. And like, they're already basically saying like, not so fast, or like crypto. They're basically telling us there's more to the story, as if like, because they know like they're losing a lot of people, but
like, why piss off your audience,
A scripted
Especially
bit.
with Casa.
A
scripted bit at the end of an episode is like that's insulting.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, this is. I think the issue that I'm noticing is no one really seems to be having like real connections or really
No.
connected. So it's like I think that they're putting all these games in there because no one seems to be. There's no weight, and so there's something about this new the Casa Amor, and when they got to mix it up, I'm like, oh, are these people better? Because I felt like all the guys are better in Casa Amor,
Yeah.
and I felt like a lot of the women were better that came over. Like I feel like we may need to like sweep some of this stuff out the door a little bit.
And they got rid of like all of the people who had real connections.
I know
we would've
that
been
was
rooting
crazy,
for.
and that was the thing I was so bummed about. I could not believe that Jeremiah was. I liked him. I felt like he was getting a connection. I felt like he got done dirty
Yes,
a little bit
by all the guys.
and I was so I don't know. I just feel like this season has been, while fun, I don't feel like anyone is liking anybody really.
Well, I also feel like
Or-
part of the reason for that is because I don't know if this is accurate, but I feel like there have been more dumpings this season almost.
So
and it's
many.
been
I'm
like,
dumping at Casa Amor.
oh,
Why?
yeah, like well, they're not dumped.
But
There's
you
no
know
way
what
they're
I mean.
dumped.
But I'm like, for all of that drama, but
no,
like,
but I know for a fact that Alandria and Nick are not dumped because Ariana said everyone was going to
scripted
be
bit.
coming back, and they never used the word dump. They just said leaving the villa. Whatever. Nonetheless, the Islanders
Right.
knew that there would be a dumping.
Mhm.
The
Right.
Islanders thought that there would be a dumping. And so they're all like, oh my God, in order to come back to my real connection, or in order to come back or stay in the game, I have to recouple. And so it's very forced. It's like everybody feels like they have to constantly be in a
Yes.
couple. So they're either forcing it with who they're with, or they're forcing it with who they feel like they can be with. And they're just all forcing it because they want to stay in the villa.
And my question is, to what end? Because it feels like they're just kind of waiting for somebody to come in there because
Yeah.
there are these a couple of real connections. I'm curious where it goes. I really want to get behind the scenes and talk to the person who composes all the music because I've been in love with whatever those
soundtrack?
songs are.
Yeah,
it's
it really
"You're
hypes you up."
walking out of the villa now. It's like,
You guys, my most recent Spotify play is Love Island USA playlist.
oh, I
Ooh,
need
yeah,
to
Leia, you gotta
get
send me that.
on that.
I feel like I wonder if it hits the
Yeah.
same just listening to the songs, because it just
You know what? I'm imagining the scenes in my head when like a dun dun dun. I'm like, this is a fire, like
there's a fire
fire
pit
pit moment.
I love it. Come to the
Sierra,
fire
yeah.
pit.
Sierra, as someone who watches a lot of UK, it's just like, do you think Love Island USA is casting way too many like already influencers? Like Ace, I think had like
Yes.
900,000 Instagram followers or
Oh,
something
wow.
like that before
He's
he
at like
entered.
1.1 million now.
Huda was
there's-
an influencer.
I mean, I get
Huda's an
everyone who's
influencer?
in their 20s as online nowadays, and anyone like who's like a hottie usually have some kind of like micro following. But like, aren't there enough of like hot people who want to be famous who aren't already like know how
More
to like,
Jaylens.
who are
Or-
so brand conscious, who are so like, I just feel like Ace is he's too plugged in, and I feel like
And he's
he's
got too
almost
much
kind of
access.
poisoning
Yes.
the well, and everyone's
He's playing
following
Big Brother.
Ace's lead and about how to play the game rather than making connections and like really get investing in these relationships.
Well, I feel like there's a thing that goes on with America, which is we don't trust our audiences to fall in love with people we don't know. Like I first started watching the British Traders,
Mhm.
and like there's a lot of normal people on British Traders,
Right.
and then they have a couple like British celebrities, and then when they do the American version, it's a lot of influencers, celebrities, reality stars.
Interesting.
But the one version of Traders that's the best is the Australian version. It's all just super normal people, and it makes the gameplay so much better.
That's
It's like
very
it's an
interesting.
electrician. It's it's like it's just regular people, and then the show is way better because they're not savvy at all. That's what the original Real World was, not savvy.
100%, because that's the UK version of Love Island. To answer your question, it is they're landscapers, they're
Right.
nail
Yeah.
technicians. They're coming in for a real connection. They're not coming in for the followers. They know that that's a part of it, but they're also there for 2 months. So it's like I feel like they really lose sight of like a prize at the end.
Right.
And they just are there to like connect with people, and they really fucking mean it because it's like they're vulnerable and they're in this environment.
They're not thinking about what happens when I get off the show.
Or what the audience is thinking about. Like a lot of the times they're almost like reminded when they do have a game where like the audience will weigh in on what's been happening or like.
Well, that's why Huda is definitely not voted off. If she's got a following, that I was like, well, she's definitely the one we're going to kick off.
Ace is at 1.1 million followers on Instagram. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I think knowing people who have seen the show and seen what it can do for people, they're like, great. So I didn't get the clout or the level of fame that I'm getting on my own. But with Love Island, it's national, it's worldwide, that it's like, now I'm getting the recognition or like the following that I think I deserve. But it's like, you're not actually here to fall in love.
Right, you're not doing the game. You're not doing the actual thing.
Go on
producers
Traders, go
don't
on Big
need
Brother.
to do that because then you have people like Jalen who I think has surpassed any of the people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Following, and he came on as like this truck
driver,
I
Georgia.
love him.
Real person.
Now, let me ask you this. I love Ariana Madix. Like, great. But when Megan Thee Stallion came on,
best
I'm
episode
like,
of the
this
season.
is what this show needs. I need some emotion,
I was
people.
thinking the same. That was the best episode of the whole season.
Yep, hands down. She literally owned that. All of the Islanders were having fun, letting loose, and I'm like, this is what I want to see. I'm so tired of tears every episode.
I think, and that's, I think that I've heard that also last season the women had a much stronger connection, and this season the women are kind of forcing that connection to feel like they are like last season.
Huda falling on the floor, having a full breakdown when Alandra was sent home.
Oh, I mean, that was wild. Yeah. That whole thing, I felt so bad for Zach, British Zach. Because it's like he stood up and I was like, oh, that's really cool. But this is an exciting moment. And then it just felt like he was left out, like he did something terrible.
He's like Manchester. He watched The Real UK when he's like, I'm supposed to be making decisions for myself.
This is like a thing, right? And it's like, and I love Alandria. I'm bummed if she's not gone or if she's gone, who knows? But it's like, I'm bummed, but I also was like, that was cool. That's what we want. We want that moment. We need that thing. And he's just sitting there like he was a bad guy.
Yeah.
He's not a bad guy.
No, he's there for love.
Yes. I liked his speech though. Like it was the first time it endeared me to him because before that he was kind of clunky and like when he made out with Amaya, he like weirdly was like, don't say anything. I'm like, why are we keeping this? This is on TV. Why are we keeping it a secret?
Yeah.
There's 5 cameras in this room.
Yes.
He was very endearing in that moment. And I thought it was very sweet. But yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, they're eliminating some of their best people. Like Jeremiah. Like I feel like Jeremiah was really genuine and like he was trying to make connections and he was like being blamed for having the face that he had and all the girls liking him. And then,
I mean, the fact that Sierra defended their decision by sending Hannah home of being like, Hannah got to experience 2 really great connections with Charlie and with Pepe, and like Iris and Amaya, you 2 deserve that too. It's like, that's not what Love Island is. If you can't make a connection, you go home. If you do have a connection, you stay. Like, I don't understand these people. And then Huda and Casa Amor pulling JD to be like, so I guess you already know I'm a mom. And then gave us another like selfish explanation as to like how she's a mom, why she's a mom. Her dating, her being like, yeah, no one's ever really had a problem with me being a mom. And like, I'm dating to marry. Not once mentioning like, I need someone who like, gets along with my daughter. I need someone who understands what it's like, like to be involved with a 5-year-old means this and it means that. Like, gives zero explanation about being an actual mother to a child. It's just so selfishly, I'm a mom.
The biggest red flag I got in that interaction was, and again, I'm terrible at names. I just know by distinguishing characteristics that guy that she said that to was like, yeah, it doesn't make a big deal to me if someone has a kid because not about that. Before. I'm like, whoa.
It's kind of about that.
Yeah, it's kind of
that was crazy.
I was like, what do you mean it's not about that? She's saying I'm dating to marry. It's like, yeah, that's fine.
I love it when they
whatever.
have kids.
I dated a mom before. It didn't really matter.
So you want to make out or
Yeah. He treated it like she was divorced. He's like, oh, I don't mind if you were married before. Like he was like, no, this is a child that lives in her house. And that's I do think like it was tough because I don't know how you feel about this, but like Jeremiah was put in this situation where I think that they did have a connection, but then she got very needy. Like, and I still feel like she wasn't really over him, but I do feel like people really were like, they're rooting for her to find love, but this is not the place for her to find love, in my opinion. No. I feel like she needs to find somebody else off this show because the show is built not, I don't know if, I mean, maybe it will be at the end, but it's like, she's not going to, like, she's too jealous or too much like you're my person to make the show, like, to be an enjoyable character. I don't know. I want her off so bad. Although now she's coming alive a little bit.
Now she's like mellowing out, but that's because we're just mad about the whole show in general.
Listen, she's been insufferable, but I also think she's very necessary now more than ever for this show, because I think she's one of the few people we are getting authenticity from. Like, you are just getting her real reactions, and I feel like so many people on this show, like, I think we all love Shelley, but like, Shelley doesn't give us anything. I mean, other than like demure, she seems like a class act. She seems like, I'd want to be friends with her, but she's not exactly captivating television.
And also, like, I feel like last season, what was so cute was watching from both sides. Like, you're watching either like the one of the guys or one of the girls, like Kendall being like, man, I really hate watching Nicole talk to that guy. Like, I feel like I have a clown nose on my face. And you get these really sweet, like, vulnerable moments, like Cordell being like, you don't have a clown nose, like, you your nose. Like, it's like, you're not seeing these people invested in their partners at all, that it's like they're not talking to somebody else being like, man, like, I really like her, but I'm sad she's going on this date. Like, it's like, I've seen the guys cried more about Nick going home.
When Nick went home, I was like, this feels like the biggest breakup of the season.
100%.
I was like, it was like, I love you, bro. I love you, bro. And it's like, you're the best connection I've made here. I'm like, and that's what I feel like is going on. Is like they are a group amongst themselves. Like, they're not really sharing in that middle ground. And that's a bummer, because I think people came in hot. Like, I liked Emily a lot. I thought Emily, like, but then when they sent Charlie home, it was a Charlie, right? When they sent Charlie home, I was like bummed about that, because I feel like it just feels like they are keeping and getting rid of the wrong people.
100%.
Especially Taylor, Nick, and Ace. They really give like high school friendships, just like very catty, very cliquey. It's just like there's no independence.
Ace is too
it's
cool
like,
for school.
like when you hung out with your boys every day. And like you dated your friends, like before you were independent, like you go to the movies with your guy friends, you'd go to dinner with your guy friend, like that's who you really connected with when you were that young. And these guys are just, I don't know, it's too high school.
I also hate that they're giving all of the new bombshells, men and women, like the power over the OGs and like the people who've been there. It's like, why are you letting Casa people like pick who they're with? It should be the other way around. Like, why are we sending home OGs and not Casa people? It's just it's weird.
Listen, I am all for the producers like throwing in some twists, but not with Casa. Casa Amor is the twist.
Right.
This is the twist. This is where you test the relationship. This is where the Islanders get to make the decision for themselves, to your point, Natalie, if they want to stay with their OG couple or move on with, or bring somebody else and explore them. Well, that's the twist. Stop fucking with the format of Casa.
Well, let me ask you about what happened in that episode where it felt like they only had one, like, were the ones, it was Amaya, right? Was the single, like, she was single, so she had to stand up, and then all of a sudden that switched to Alandria. But on the guy's side, it felt like everyone got a chance to get up in front of the group. Do you think that was an editing decision?
No, I think that had somebody gotten up and chosen Alandria, it would have been the same, like a ripple.
It would have kept on going. Okay.
Kept going.
Yeah.
It really makes me more sus about when they voted off Jeremiah and Hannah, and they didn't show any of the conversations and how those groups came to the decision. Yes. Like last year when they did that, we got to see, that was like a big storyline about how the women came to that decision and who was like leading the conversation. And it seems a little fucked up now more than ever, now that we're kind of criticizing producers for overproducing, that they're just, I don't know, like they're not, I usually like to defend producers, and I feel like sometimes the hardcore reality TV fans they love the behind the scenes conversations too much. They love the conspiracies, the blaming producers for everything they don't like. But when I think there's a lot of times, like I've become more familiar with like reality TV shows, and I've been shocked by how much they don't produce and how much they're not involved. But like, I really think, times have changed where they really try to be hands off, but like it really is giving from this show right now that the producers are just too, it's like they're too online. They're reading Reddit, they're reading Twitter, they're on TikTok, they're following fan reactions, and they're making too many reactionary moves trying to like appease fans where like just trust your process, trust your format, trust the casting, and let them do their thing.
They're also being like way too messy with their editing, it feels like, and I think the audience is catching on, and the audience is being like, you know, like there was a scene where when Jeremiah came in to give Iris breakfast, and it showed like him walking into the room and there was no Huda, and then it shows like Huda giving a stank face, and it's like, but she wasn't in the room, and then it shows like Hannah talking to the girls, but then in the reflection of the window it shows Shelly and Olandria, and you see Hannah in the reflection and her mouth isn't moving, you know, like it's they're getting really sloppy with their like cutting and pasting and editing, that it feels very like not what it was.
Do you think that that's part of the daily nature of the show, or like whatever, the 4 times a week that's on? It's like they can react in real time, but also the show is sloppier because of that, because they don't have enough time to kind of finesse moments, so they have to kind of create a story because they need it to be fulfilling at an hour, and they may not have all those pieces together at that point.
I will say I am less critical of editing like that. I only say this because I think the best reality TV shows and the best reality TV producers, like they want to show you the authentic story. In a perfect world, they cast the perfect group of people, and they give, and they don't edit themselves, and they're all, you know, but that doesn't always happen. And, you know, at the end of the day, they have to make a TV show. I think sometimes editing will try to, in this limited time, even though we have an episode every night with Love Island, we are still only, you know, airing an hour of what is 24 hours of footage that they have, right? And so sometimes when they are showing, you know, like they cut to Huda giving like kind of like a resting bitch face reaction to a moment, and then you realize that she wasn't in the room in that moment or whatever. Like I think often a justifiable reason is they're trying to convey the sentiment of what was going on in that room, despite maybe that footage that they chose to use didn't like quite capture that. Does that make sense? Where it's just like, yeah, maybe that didn't happen this way, but that was still like the vibe.
Right.
I feel like it's them playing into like the Huda's crazy like conversation that's happening in and outside of the villa. Like they're giving audience more examples of Huda being quote unquote crazy.
Exactly, because but my point is that was what was going on in the villa. Like when I interviewed Jeremiah, I asked him, I'm like, hey, listen, like a lot of people are having these reactions with Huda. Like this is what they think. You know, we know that things can be edited. Is the fans' sentiment and what we are seeing on this TV show from what you saw, is that what you experienced? And he confirmed that, yeah, that's how it was. And I'm just saying, like, sometimes, you know, and they don't have the perfect footage to just, you know, they have a limited time. So they have to like maximize what the audience or what is that feeling that is happening. And they sometimes have to edit it. You know, does that make sense?
It's like the cliff notes of the day, right?
Yeah,
it's like, this is essentially the emotions that happened. We can't show you all the intricate details, but like this, trust us, she's mad. He's okay.
Yeah.
This guy's a jerk. Let's go with it. And they're trying to craft something within that.
Yeah, they don't have very much time either. It's a fast turn.
Yeah, it's so fast. And I also feel like some of these guys aren't giving full. I don't like, this is one of those reality shows where I don't feel like I know everybody. Like they're even withholding with the audience. Like the guy, I call him like Bobo Owen Wilson, the guy who's cleaning the pool. What's his name? Austin. Yeah. I love Austin. But, you know, Austin, you know, I'm like, I don't know what he is besides this kind of like, oh yeah, well, I hope this girl likes me. You know, it's like I feel like we're not finding out. So maybe the people that we are finding out the most about are the ones that we're irritated with, because they're just like, I am this one thing. I'm going to say this one thing over and over and over again. But like sometimes I'm just watching a lot of tongue.
Oh, and I will say that like UK does a really good job, because they also have a bonus episode. I think that's also why their seasons are longer. They do a bonus episode called Unseen Bits. So the entire episode is just clips of the Islanders that we didn't see throughout. And it's like random funny moments. And it's like you kind of get to see another side of their personality outside of like what the storyline drama is. Where I'm like, here we don't have that. And they play little clips, during After Sun. But I'm like, you don't get to see that there's a full like 24 hours that these people are
Who
hanging
are these
out.
people? Right.
They have
Yeah,
a
the
goofy
funny
side, a
moments.
funny side.
Yeah.
Like we don't get to see any of
like
that.
Big Brother, and I used to do this where when I was like super into Big Brother, they have like a live feed where you could just
I remember
watch.
this. The best.
And I used to do
Yes.
that. I used to sit there and just watch
it was
them
the
exist.
most fun. It's like, of course, keep
so
those cameras.
fun.
We should have a camera running on Love Island.
They
Why
should.
not? Right?
There should be like a paid. This would be a great way to make extra money, Peacock. Just like charge an extra subscription, and people could just watch the live feed.
Or just don't. We already are paying for it. Just give it to us for free. Let's give us 4 cameras. That's all.
Just a split screen. We don't even need audio.
Yeah, we don't need the audio.
Everyone will
like
watch
those birds when we watch a bird come out of the nest. Or that bird up in California. Like, let's
the
put
bald eagle's gonna have its baby in 9 months, and we set up this time lapse camera.
Well, despite our Love Island venting session, I mean, the audience is invested, and I'm definitely going to be. I can't wait for Thursday because I want to know what.
That was the biggest cliffhanger this season. I think this was like my second favorite episode because it was like, okay, now stuff is going to happen. It feels like this is the biggest moment of the season coming back from Casa Amor. I hope. I hope so.
Yeah,
Don't let us down.
I want to believe that they're gonna they have a big plan. Maybe we don't understand it. We're a little triggered right now, but I think all our gripes are valid, and I feel, and if they're gonna if producers are gonna produce, I want them to just talk to the cast and say, hey, you need to lean into these relationships. You really need to go for it. You guys are being a little too safe. You're not just say that, tell them to be vulnerable and stop worrying about friendships and stuff like that, and have people, tell them that Huda's got the the biggest following of them all, because they all, I guarantee you, it's clear that everyone in the house has a strong opinion about Huda, and they're judging her, and they are sticking their nose up with Huda. And I get why, but she's also other than Jalen, she is getting the most follows. She's the biggest star. Like her or hate her, whatever you think of Huda, she's the most talked about person on the show. I mean, is she the
villain? I mean, not that she's a villain, but I mean, she is kind of serving that role. You're watching her because you're frustrated by her a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But now I do think that based on that last episode, I like the guys that came in a lot. I'm like, ooh, these guys seem like they have a little bit more.
Team.
Yeah, the basketball team. They're very tall, very muscular.
When he said 6'8", I was like, for real?
I know. I was like, I watched that and I was like, when they show them together in those poses, I'm like, this has made me laugh so hard. But and so I am hoping that will carry over, because I felt like I saw something real, and that to me speaks of good producing, which is okay, maybe these are not the right people for them. And instead of just attracting them by body, they brought in people that are attracting them by mind a little bit more. And I feel like that there was something about that last episode that gave me a lot of hope for where we go. And then also all the fallout is going to be intense.
Yeah. Well, my prediction for what's going to happen is that they're going to bring Nick and Alandria back, and it's going to be a big recoupling where it's going to be kind of up to the OG, Taylor and Sierra, to either save them or stay with their.
Do you want Nick on the show?
He's pretty to look at.
He's pretty to look at, but he gives me nothing, and he's also, exactly to everybody's point, he's the one who's not taking any of these relationships seriously. He's bump, 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 all over the place.
And you got Sierra bawling, missing him, and he's over here we're gonna be in Casa.
Do it. I gotta do it.
It's Casa Amore's Casa Amoring.
That's what sucked about him leaving right now. Again, who knows what's going to happen? But that, Sierra was that one person who was freaking out and emotionally invested in her relationship with Nick, and she was all in. So whether Nick was not, Nick was given Aaron from last season, where he's just out there, Sierra doesn't even exist right now in his world. She's crying about him, and even though Nick's kind of a fan favorite right now, Aaron was early in the season, it had the opportunity for a great movie night where Nick's making moves that's going to piss off Sierra and a lot of people, and then now all of a sudden he's leaving, he gets this hero exit, everyone's crying, and then he run it. I just I will say I'm exhausted of the Huda villain. I want one of these guys to really step in it and not be protected by the clique. You know what I'm saying? I want these guys to be the fuckboys that I guarantee you that they are.
Well, I mean, and there is something funny because Nick is a fuckboy. I mean, right? I mean, 100%. My favorite moment was when they're posing in the photo booth and he's on the verge of tears, and then the camera went to flash. He's like, smile, big smile, like big smile. I was like, this motherfucker. But you know, like I do feel like these other guys feel like they have a little bit more emotional depth, and maybe we'll get some switching up of things. Because I agree with you. Like I'm tired of it. I just feel like, but I don't know if I'm a newbie to the world, so I am enjoying it. But I'm like at 20 episodes in, I think I should feel a lot more emotionally.
Or like one
connected.
couple that
Yes.
you're rooting for, that you
100%.
really want. And it's like even Alondria being safe, I'm like, or whatever their twist is going to be.
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like Taylor doesn't deserve her.
No.
Taylor said another girl is her in another body.
Oh my
and
God,
it's
that
just
was
like,
so annoying when you said that.
Taylor's blind.
you know, like blind and stupid.
Moving on from Love Island, Paul.
Yes.
I understand that you're also a bit of a true crime fan, and you've been have you been
man.
following the Karen Reed case and
Yes,
Sherry Papini,
yes.
who we recently interviewed. I don't know if you had a chance to listen.
By the
to
way, I did listen to it. I'm obsessed. My wife got me into true crime. I fell head over heels into this Karen Reed thing because I watched the HBO Max documentary. I couldn't stop watching it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, second trial, listening, watching every person from Boston who has a TikTok was like, all right, let me tell you something.
Yes.
I install garage doors, and in Canton, everyone's a swinger. You know, so I got deep into Karen Reed, and that really took over a large chunk of my time. That Diddy and Sherry Papini, but Sherry Papini on here. Now I know this is your guest. You have a guest on this show, but I'm so mixed on her. I'm so mixed. Because I was suckered into the first doc. I followed that story. Then I suckered into her doc. And there's a part of me that goes, wow, I believe that maybe some of this happened. But then there's a part of me going like, I don't know though. Why isn't she pulling up charges on this guy? And this guy seems so matter of fact that if he was doing all this, but then my favorite moment was at the end of that doc when they go, hey, so we did some research, and is it James, her boyfriend who kidnapped, like James, and James's mother is not Mexican. She's like, okay, yeah, well, okay, well, I met her.
That was your whole smoking gun.
Yeah, and she's like, well, I met her, and I know she looks like the way that she responded so quickly to like, hey, by the way, the one thing you said is a total lie. She's like, yeah, but that's not important. Don't worry about it.
When we had her on our show and we kind of got into that topic, and then she dropped that like the entire neighborhood allegedly knew that she was sitting out there. And I'm like, what? Huh? That doesn't make any sense.
She switches it up whenever she gets in a corner. And that's what I thought was so fascinating here. Because I'm like, I'm a fan of this show. I love that interview. It's like, but she's slippery, and you dealt with her in a really good way, but it's like you can't kind of corner her, because once she gets cornered, she's like, and as a matter of fact,
out.
Yeah, she's like, oh, as a matter of fact, my husband's actually having an affair with my sister. Wait, what? And it's like, oh, and as a matter of fact, like you just like, she drops another bomb, and it's like, it's perfect liar mentality. And I hate to, like, I don't want to ever like, I don't want to assume, but man, oh man, it makes it hard for me to believe anything.
I mean, with the Sherry Papini of it all, I think I think the James, I think he is guilty of clearly something. I think the fact that she was able to, whether she asked him to do it or he had kidnapped her and did it on her own, like the bruises, the injuries that she came back home with, she could not have done to herself. So
I agree.
The fact that she was able to ask him to do this and he was like, okay, sure. Like, that's a bad person. It's the same thing with like the Gypsy Rose of it all. Gypsy Rose asked someone to, kill her mom. And that person was like, sure. You ask anyone else and they're like, oh my God, babe, like, let me get you some help. Like, I'm not the person. Well, I can't do that.
Here's a question I have, because I do agree with you 100%, but devil's advocate on this. I will say this.
He doesn't need one.
Yeah. you could never say like, no one would ever ask me, can you please brand me? And I'd be like, okay. Right. I can't go that bridge. So I believe you're right. But do you think that there's a little bit of manipulation? Like, this is a guy that had a crush on her when they were in high school together. They were, like, do you think that there is this, oh my God, this girl who liked me finally is giving me attention. I guess I will brand her. But I mean, I still can't.
To me, it was less of the branding and more of like the broken nose with the hockey stick.
Right. Yeah.
There was a lot. Yeah. My take on Sherry Papini's whole situation what I believe is that she has probably encountered several bad actors, whether that's her original husband, a boyfriend, her parents. I don't know. She clearly is a person.
Apples?
What?
Actors or apples?
Bad actors.
Actors.
Yeah, bad actors. Bad people.
Bad apples?
Whatever. Not great people. She's encountered bad people. However you want to say
I think it's a couple of bad apples.
There. You could say actors. You could say apples.
Are
they interchangeable?
Yeah, I believe they are.
Yeah.
Either way, bad people. I think she is definitely a victim for sure. Like, I don't know when, how many times. I definitely think she's someone who's been victimized in her life, and I have a lot of empathy for that. I also think she's an absolute liar, and I think she's also, which is very common, I think she's also someone who's victimized a lot of people as well. And when we interviewed her, you know, it's like you said, it's tough. You know, we don't pretend to be journalists on this show. When we get an opportunity to interview, a lot of our interviews are light and fun, and we're talking like journalists. We were talking reality TV and Love Island. And then we get some opportunities where, like, you know, these are serious topics, in serious conversations. I just, you just want to ask the questions that people are asking, and then you just kind of see how this person answers it, and then they respond and let the audience decide. But like, there was a vibe in the room that, like, there's an energy that was very uncomfortable. At least, I thought when Sherry was there, I just it was kind of an icky feeling.
Crazy, and I even asked her this of like, so she just kept saying, like, I didn't want the emotional affair that she was having with James to, like, her kids to find out. And so I'm like, the police when you were in that interrogation room, they're like, by the way, like, if you lie to us, like, you will be arrested, right? This is a crime. Just gonna put that out there. If you lie to us, she's like, okay, no, for sure.
Right.
And then she's like, I'm like, you were more afraid to tell your children that you had an emotional affair than go to prison and, like, be away from your kids?
There's something about her, and I think maybe I'll say it's like she's like 1/4 the truth and 3/4 like a lie. And it's like, and it's hard to tell which part is the truth and which part is the lie, because you see all that footage of her and you see her lying so openly and honestly. And I do believe, yes, maybe her husband is kind of a jerk and an asshole. And I believe that to be true. And I do believe that she definitely orchestrated this thing, and maybe what she orchestrated got out of hand. But I also want to know, like, what I am like, we'll never know what happened. And I mean, and the fact that other guy, the guy that kidnapped her, like, no one's asking him any questions. It seemed like he did one lie detector test and they were like, done, got it.
That is weird.
But it's weird, right? It's like, obviously Karen Reed, that whole story behind that is like, to a certain extent, the police didn't do their job, or they did it in a way that was ineffective, or they didn't go the full distance. And I feel like that's the same thing that happened here to a certain extent. Like, they just took this guy, give him one lie detector test. I think that they knew that she was lying, or they made that decision early on. It was like, we're just going to drive right into you. And then that's a bummer too, because it kind of gets this guy off if he did do this. But it's so hard.
Well, there was also like the video footage of the investigators or police going to talk to James, and they're like, by the way, if she asked you to hurt her,
right,
that's not a crime. Like, you're not in trouble if she asked you. It's like,
yeah, they really led him in that way. And then it's like, but then it's also like, then she said, oh, I want to go home and see my kids. And he's like, okay, I'll drive you home. And I'm like, what? Like, what? Like, I just didn't, like, there's so many parts of it. And that's why, like, you're talking to her and she says things so, like, and that's why I was really interested, because I was like, oh, the documentary is one way. And then listening to her on the show, I was like, oh, this will hopefully be a little bit more casual. She'll be like, you'll get different things from her. But I think in her personality, that's part of her. Mm-hmm. She's slippery. Right. She's just slippery. It's like, it's a tricky person to kind of figure out if she's using you. And you don't want to get too close, because at one point you will become the enemy. Right. And that's somebody that I think we've all seen in different relationships, throughout our entire lives.
Yeah. Well, Paul, thanks for breaking it all down with us. This has been super fun. We appreciate you coming back.
I'm so excited to be here. Yeah.
Where can people find you?
They can find me on social media, wherever you get your social media. I'm on there. It's just Paul Scheer. I have a book called Joyful Recollections of Trauma. New York Times bestseller. Very exciting.
Congrats.
Thank you so
There you
much. And yeah, and then I'm on tour and popping around in Portland and Seattle and Vancouver. So.
Well,
Yeah.
Paul, this has been tons of fun. I hope you come back soon. And good luck
anytime.
with the single dad duties, man. I had 48
I
hours of
appreciate
it.
it.
And, props to you,
You
man.
crushed it, honey. You did great.
Well, thanks. But it's definitely, it's just not easy. It's
not. It
you
is.
Next time I
gotta-
come on, I'm gonna take the challenge. I'm gonna take the Dylan Efron challenge. I'm gonna get a ab.
There you
Oh
I'll
go.
my
have
goodness.
a ab for you by the time I come back.
once June gets back and settled in, we would you guys are welcome to come back together too. We'd love to have her on as well.
Oh my gosh, that would be a blast. Well, definitely when Traders comes back, I want to.
Oh,
let's
hell
get
yeah.
on the show. Let's break
Yeah.
it down.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
ready. I'm ready for it.
Would you ever do Traders?
Man, that's the one show that I'm like, I'm always nervous about. Like, would I do a show? That one seems really fun. Yeah, I'll tell you the person I want to do Traders. I want Jeff Probst to do Traders as a contestant. I would love to get like
Yes.
hosts,
That's a
in-
great call.
right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Like,
Mhm.
I think like get those people who really work their connections.
The ones who are used to hosting the games and not playing them.
Yes, 100%, because they also understand the mental manipulation and stuff like that. I would fold. I would come across as the worst version of myself on any reality show. Props to anyone on a reality show for bearing themselves in such a way, like the emotional moments, like, obviously like people are crying. You're seeing it's a part of myself I would never want to show to anyone. So God bless everyone. Even on the Traders, you see these moments where like, and you can imagine 6 months later, like, why the hell was I crying? I'm voted off the show.
I didn't even know her.
$2,000. Like, well, all right, I lost my fact to get $2,000. Who cares?
Well, Paul, appreciate you coming on, man. I hope everyone go follow Paul, check out everything he's doing, and we'll see you next time, Paul.
All right, see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Up next, Hannah from Love Island joins the Viall Files to talk about her unceremonious exit from the villa, her thoughts on why she was sent home, how she's feeling now, will she get back with Charlie, all of that and more. And then after Hannah, we will break down the Valley, Next Gen, and we also have the stars of McBee Dynasty premiering on Bravo, Steven and Kala. All of that following Hannah. But right now, it's Hannah time. If you're running a business, you know that every time you have a missed call, you are leaving money on the table. When every customer conversation matters, you need a phone system that keeps up and helps you stay connected 24/7. That's why you need Open Phone.
Open Phone is the #1 business phone system that streamlines and scales your customer communications. It works through an app on your phone or computer, so no more carrying 2 phones or using a landline. With Open Phone, your team can share one number and collaborate on customer calls and texts like a shared inbox. That way, any teammate can pick up right where the last person left off, keeping response times faster than ever. Plus, say goodbye to voicemail. Their AI agent can be set up in minutes to handle calls after hours, answer questions, and capture leads so you never miss a customer. So whether you're a one-person operation drowning in calls and texts, or you have a large team that needs better collaboration tools, Open Phone is a no-brainer. See why over 60,000 businesses trust Open Phone.
Open Phone is offering our listeners 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/VIALL. That is openphone.com/VIALLOPEN, PHONE.com/VIALL. And if you have existing numbers with another service, Open Phone will port them over at no extra charge. Open Phone, no missed calls, no missed customers. Making a big purchase should come with confidence, not confusion, and that's why Car Gurus is here to help you cut through the noise, showing you the best deals and in-depth vehicle details so you can feel confident about your purchase, because when it comes to your big deal, you deserve the best deal.
Car Gurus will connect you with trusted dealerships when you're ready, ensuring a transparent and hassle-free buying process. With over 4 million listings, Car Gurus has more car listings than any other major online automotive marketplace in the U.S., so you can find the best deal. Car Gurus gives you the control to shop how you want, to shop with the tools, information, and data-driven deal ratings you need. It's no wonder SimilarWeb estimated traffic data shows Car Gurus is the #1 most visited car shopping site.
They have the most inventory of new and used cars so you can find the best deal, and with unbiased deal ratings, price drop alerts, and in-depth vehicle reviews, you can make a decision you feel great about, because a deal should never feel like a big risk. Finding the perfect car is like dating, where you swipe through a bunch of options. Some look better than they actually are, and you're just hoping that you don't have to settle for good enough when you deserve something great. But with Car Gurus, they take the guesswork out of buying a car. Real price analysis, vehicle history, price drop alerts, and the best deals, no bad dates. just good cars. Buy or sell your next car today with Car Gurus at cargurus.com. Go to cargurus.com to make sure your big deal is the best deal. That is cargurus.com. Cargurus.com.
Yeah.
Oh, one clap? I didn't know you were doing one clap. I thought it was like multiple.
We're just syncing audio.
Yeah, we're just singing audio.
Oh, okay.
She's like, everyone clap.
See, I'm already programmed to like clap on the cue, you know?
All right, ready to rock and roll?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Hannah, welcome to the show. So glad to have you. We're excited to talk.
I'm so excited.
No, I have so many questions for you. I love you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Please tell me you are going to rekindle with Charlie. I need to know right now.
You know, I am still completely disconnected from the outside world. I have no clue what's going on. I know no clue what's going on in his head. I think it's all kind of whatever happens is supposed to happen. I don't think I'm going to force any of my connections outside of the villa because I didn't do it inside. But you know,
but let's just play like a game.
Yeah. Okay.
You get your phone back. You got like 3 messages from Charlie, a couple DMs. He probably doesn't have your number. And he's like, when and where, girl, I will come to you. Do you say yes?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
We were like in our own world the whole time. We were always laughing. We had the best time. We seriously did.
We had him on the show a couple episodes ago, and he said that he was obviously watching the show, and he said he would skip past your part.
Oh, that's sad. I'm like, meanwhile, I only watched my parts.
It was like after he left, he was like, I didn't want to see her with Pepe, so I would just fast forward.
Oh, wait, that's really sad. That makes me really sad.
So sweet. Oh
I'm like, I'm sorry, Charlie. I
Sorry,
talked about him all
Charlie.
the time. I really did talk about him all the time.
Well, that being said, I mean, like, you know, we get it, right? It's Love Island. Things move fast. But, you know, now that you got a taste of both of these, you know, handsome men, which direction are you leaning a little bit more?
Who were you more upset to leave Pepe or for Charlie to leave you?
I feel like I'm going to hurt your feelings with this one.
No, not at all. We don't care. Listen, we just want you to be Hannah.
we
just want you to
be
happy, Hannah. Yeah.
Definitely, I think I was more sad to leave Pepe.
Okay.
Do you think you were more sad to leave Pepe or more sad to just be like abruptly ejected from your environment and the villa?
Yeah, I think that also plays a part in it. But I also think like there is a complete other side of like me and Pepe's story that's just like nobody knows about. My reality and my experience is really different than what I saw. I'm like, it looks like he hates my guts, but I promise like it's way
well,
different.
give us, now's the time. Give us a little bit of that insight. Like, you know, give us the Hannah and Pepe love story.
Yeah, I think honestly, I don't even think there's a word in my vocabulary that would like articulate and illustrate like the connection that we had. I think it was so like, I don't even know the word, like ambiguous. We had like really like silly like banter. Honestly, like we bullied each other a lot, but it was all fun and games. And that's what they showed. Like they showed us like bullying each other, but it was always jokes or like we'd flip each other off like across the villa. But then like we would have these really serious moments. And I honestly was never not reassured by that man. Like if he was going to go talk to somebody, he'd be like, by the way, I'm going to go have this chat. Like I'll come back and like let you know everything. And before the not recoupling, whatever, when I got sent home, the elimination, he sat down with me after, like it was literally right before I got eliminated. And he was like, I don't know what's happening tonight. He was like, all I know that if this is like, I'm leaving tonight and this is the last chat that I get to have, like I really wanted to have it with you. And so in my mind, I'm like, we're fine. Like we're like the strongest couple. Nothing's going to happen. And then I think it was just a really big shock, but there's so much that I hope that I get to see like little behind the scenes, because we would just stay up all night talking all night. Like literally the sun would be up and we'd get like 10 minutes of sleep and be delusional. I think that's why we were like so delusional all the time.
Tell us something about Pepe America hasn't been able to learn yet.
He surprised me way more than I ever thought he would. He's so different. And I think everyone in the villa can like attest to that. He's so different than what I thought when I originally had like connected with him. he is so sweet. He's like literally such a man. He's such a gentleman. He's so reassuring to everyone. Like he always is checking on everyone. He literally like Charlie gets sent home and he's comforting me for hours and like making me a bunch of food. And
I think that honestly came across. I think America was like, he seems just like a really, really nice, like sweet guy. I think that did come across.
Yeah.
Have you wrecked your brain on why they chose you?
You know, I was kind of waiting to get clarity from like watching the episodes, and I never did.
Let's be honest, Hannah. They fucked you over.
Yeah, I mean, it hurt a lot, and like those were my friends, and I don't think our friendships were really shown as well either. I was really close with all of them. I was really close with Huda, but I think I was really mad at Huda the last couple days I was in the villa.
Did it make you question the genuineness of those friendships?
No, because I know that we have no sleep, and like we're all kind of deluded half the time. Like we don't know what's going on, and like, yeah, I was really, really upset, but I think it's just conversations that we need to have like post villa. You know, I think we all had talked about like watching the show together and being like, wait, this is what I meant when I said that, you know, because we say a lot of shit we don't mean. There was a lot of Hurricane Hannahs throughout the villa that weren't shown, you know. I like had my crash out moments, but
let's be real here. Like between, like we all thought, like, and we loved Iris. She seemed like a chill person.
No. We didn't all think Iris. Iris stood on the front lines for Hurricane Huda and took one for the team by being partner with we thought Amaya.
I think a lot of people
didn't really have.
Well, there was a case for either, and no disrespect for any. We're fans of all three women, but like Iris was in a relationship or kind of with Jeremiah. She wasn't really making a lot of connections. She had the buddings of a match with JT. Amaya had been striking out. Like, I think a lot of frustrations with America right now is there's not a lot of like connections being made, right? People aren't like, it's just a lot of friend and like, but you've been really trying and you've been really making these connections. And so of those three women, you were the one that like had something going with Pepe. And so it just like made no sense why they chose you. And it seems kind of messed up.
Yeah. Iris is such a sweetheart. And I think that she really does deserve that chance. I think she deserves that opportunity because she did have something going with TJ. It's just not really blossomed yet. And I think she was just a sweetheart. And like, I defended that girl to the end of time. Like I was sitting there, like waiting for them to reveal who they had chosen. I was like, please don't, like, I don't want it to be Iris because she just hasn't had her time yet. I think Amaya too, like oh my gosh, that girl is full of emotion. And I just think she really has not found her connection yet. So although I didn't think it was going to be me, I really didn't want it to be them either. I didn't want it to be any of us. I knew it was going to go one way or the other. But I think what had bugged me is it said that like I don't remember who said it, but they said there was more effort from Iris and Amaya, which I just don't think is true.
You were the only one in a relationship.
Yeah, because even still, I was exploring. I had a conversation with TJ. I wasn't really feeling it. Me and Jalen did several times try to have talks. There was just not really time. Because I was like the one that was like, I'm going to talk to literally every single person and whatever works out will. But like, I never had to force my connections. They just kind of fell into place. And it was so beautiful and it was an amazing experience. But I do feel like it was cut short.
Yeah, I think it was Sierra who was trying to justify the decision by saying like, you were so lucky to have these two amazing connections that like the other two women deserve that chance. And it's like, you don't get sent home because you have a connection. You get sent home because you can't form a connection. So it was a little like, I think America definitely was very upset.
We were pissed.
With that choice.
We were pissed.
Yeah, it did make me sad because Sierra was like my big sister. I feel like we had like, she was really reassuring of me, and she would always like, whenever I was down, she would really have a lot of talks with me. So it does hurt, but you know, at the end of the day, there's nothing I can do to change it. And I just had to move forward.
Mature answers. Did you see last night's episode?
Yes, I did. I was freaking the fuck out.
Were you crying? I was crying.
I was crying. I was like, no, because Alandria, that is my fucking girl. That is my girl. Like, she got me through all of my funks in the villa, and she's the funniest girl in the fucking world. And Nick too. Nick was like one of my really close friends as well. And I was like, what the like? I was like, send Pepe home, guys.
so we don't know what's going on. Obviously, it doesn't seem like they're actually gone. Who knows what the producers are cooking up? I like America's a bit frustrated with them messing with the format of Casa Amor, but like, whatever. I guess we'll see. Maybe we'll be happy in the end. That being said, it's interesting that it was Orlandria and Nick getting in the car together. I don't know if you're aware of this, probably not because you don't have your phone, but there's been a lot of like fans like kind of sipping the idea of Orlandria and Nick. They, whether it's in the games or like just like little looks that, maybe they're catching in the villa, but like there's a lot of people like kind of speculating there's like this hidden love affair between the two of them. Does that make any sense to you whatsoever? Is there anything there? Could we be surprised? Is this what the producers are cooking up for us? What do you have to say about that?
Oh my gosh, if there is, it's really hidden. And maybe I'm fucking oblivious, but
okay.
I mean, I know we like would make out with her in challenges, but like challenges were challenges. We just made out with everyone. Like it was literally just like a big make out session.
All right.
Okay,
All
so
right.
you didn't see any like flirtiness going on between the two of them that made you think, oh, maybe.
Nick's a flirt. Nick flirts with everyone.
Yeah.
Nick would flirt with like a brick wall.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe there was, but I really could not say. Yeah.
Well, you left right before Casa Amor happened, and I know that you had something nice going with Pepe. That being said, were any of the men that entered in Casa Amor, did any of them kind of pique your interest? Do you think which of the guys do you think you would have gone for?
Yeah, there was like they were all cute.
We want names.
I think Elan was really cute. Like that's like who I was drawn to when I was watching, and I was like, damn, I missed out. But I really do like my connections that I did have.
What are your predictions about what's going to happen next episode?
Damn. Hopefully we find out what's going on with. I think they're either gonna have like Nick go to Casa and Orlandria go back to the villa. Maybe spice that up a little and see.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like that would be a little crazy. I hope that Sierra gives a little bit more of an opportunity to Elan because I feel like they kind of have this similar vibe that's really cute. I don't know. I'm just as curious as you are because now I'm like outside of the villa. I'm like, I don't want to know. I don't want to watch.
Have you been? They haven't shown a lot of it, but Grayson and Pepe are obviously coupled right now.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Oh, I was skipping through that whole episode trying to find it. I'm like, damn, there's nothing. I'm like, maybe that's a good thing. But he did say something that was like, it's weird, like waking up in bed and it's like not her or whatever. I think it was cut off. So I don't know what the rest of the sentence was, but I was like, oh, like I just, I try not to think about it too much. I really think he deserves happiness no matter if it's with a new connection or whatever. I want him to have the best experience in there.
But what do you really want? Do you are you just more like this is like Love Island and that'll stay at Love Island? Or would you be really happy if Pepe came out looking for you?
Yeah, that would be nice. But also I know how much one conversation can change everything. It's literally like one day to the next, you could feel completely different. And I think coming out, I was like, I don't know what's going to happen I had two really, really great connections and I don't know how either of them would play out in the outside world. But, we did have like plans together, like for when we were out. So hopefully those follow through. And if not, then like, I really enjoyed that experience with him and I learned a lot.
Okay. All right. You got to ask.
What?
Oh shit. I know what's coming.
Oh, I almost forgot. I'm like, she's so sweet and innocent and just listen, girl. So the spitting in the hand. Were you like? Did you need like moisturizer?
Yeah,
Were your hands like a little dry? Did you forget about the cameras? Did you feel like it's so?
Or did you just not give a fuck?
Yeah, did you just not give a fuck?
Okay, for one, yeah, I feel like I was like somebody who really forgot I was being recorded like all the time. Even I think Pepe was saying like, at least we got our mics off, and I was like, there's mics in the headboard.
Yeah.
And I think like I thought we were being discreet. And when I saw that, I was gagged. I was like, no, fuck. I really thought like nobody's gonna have a clue. Nobody's gonna know.
I mean, it was just like the combo of like you sitting in your hand and then just like his body just was back and forth. It was...
I'm like, did she just? Oh, is his? Oh my God.
There's a lot of spitting from me this
Did it
season.
last longer than
Yeah.
26 seconds though? Because Nick, I only asked because like Nick
Yeah,
wouldn't shut up
Nick
about
said
how
26 seconds.
Him and
brief
Sierra,
his
it was
interaction
scary, yeah.
was.
I don't know. I think, yeah, it was probably longer than 26 seconds. I don't know. I was like, I would think I was on high alert the entire time. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, when I gotta ask, because like you guys are all sleeping in the same room. Are people like when shit's going down?
Yeah.
Like are your bunkmates like covering their ears, or are there jokes being made? Are there like little snickers? Like are people like, do they know what's going on?
I think nobody ever knew that me and Pepe were intimate at all, because we would stay up for like hours talking. Everyone was already asleep before like anything. Like that was probably like 3 hours after we went to bed.
Did
So-
you ever hear Huda and Jeremiah? Because they were before you.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah. I would sleep with earplugs.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my
I know.
God, did it help? Or were you like,
Was
"Give
she?
me
Was it
more"?
like she wanted people to know?
Oh, I don't really know. I think they just kissed really, really loudly.
Okay, all right. You mentioned earlier that you were mad at Huda the last couple days. I mean, obviously, Hurricane Huda, she's made a lot of waves, but was it just because of everything that we're seeing and why America seems to be frustrated with her? Are there specific things that we didn't get to see that was frustrating you about Huda?
Yeah. We were the two hurricanes of the villa. I think that's something me and her always joked about, that we had our own crash outs and hurricanes.
Yeah, two
and-
very different storms, I got to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yours is like a light drizzle, maybe.
Yeah.
Yours is like, oh, it's raining. Oh, fun. I love thunderstorms.
Rain boots.
Yeah. Huda's was like, oh my God, are the windows closed? Like,
But I think we bonded a lot. We had a lot. We actually like had a lot to talk about, and we were really close. But I was really close with everyone. I think we honestly really had like really good sisterhood. I think partial reasons why I was mad was I was really good friends with Iris when she came in, and I don't think she was treated fairly. But what I do need to like know is like emotions are really high, and I feel like we don't really think very logically.
yeah, that's
And-
fair.
I was really, really mad at her. Just like because we did have like a lot of conversations about like my connection and like also her connection. And I feel like I was there for her a lot. So I did feel a little like, I guess like blindsided by everything. And
Yeah.
when I left, she was like, just let you know, like we didn't send you home because of like us being like in a fight. And I think like we never really got our closure with that situation, because she tried to like talk to me right before my elimination, but it was like a group setting. So I was kind of uncomfortable. Just because like I would rather talk to her like one-on-one, because I feel like
Yeah.
that's when we really like got together the most. I think there is a lot that's not shown, but she's a mother, and like
Yes, we
I
know.
think that Mamacita. But I think that she really deserves to have like a comeback story now that Jeremiah is gone, and like really find somebody that like maybe it won't be in the villa, but like use this experience to really learn and grow from it.
Some people seem to think that the reason they chose you is because, Sierra had just had a conversation with Nick where she was like, I want to be closed off. He was like, no, I want to be open. And then Huda
Mhm.
obviously did not have any connection. So a lot of people are maybe thinking that they wanted Pepe to themselves. Do you find any truth in that, or do you think that's just ridiculous?
I know that Sierra was interested in still getting to know Pepe. I just don't think there was ever really the time for that, just because, we were really close. Me and Pepe were talking all the time. So maybe potentially, I don't think that there's really a door open for Huda and Pepe at all, because I think he was pretty,
Yeah, he seemed to slam that shot.
at least from what he told to me, he was like, oh, no, that's not going to happen. But, I would hope Sierra wouldn't do that to me. But, I can't control anyone else's feelings.
Yeah.
And I think with Pepe, he was very much like, I'm not going to force a connection with anyone that I don't have. So, like, if something blossoms from that, then, like, it's what is supposed to happen. It's what's meant to be.
I know you have to get going real soon, but just hopefully a final question, kind of a two-part question.
Okay.
Other than yourself, because like, after Huda swerved and kind of went for Pepe, you at least, said something to her, like respectfully confronted her. But I think America in general will seem to be a little frustrated with just the collective group of the women. Like, we understand they all want to support each other, but we wanted like some of you women to kind of check Huda a little bit. Did that happen that we didn't get to see? Or was Huda just like kind of like hard to check?
I did a lot actually. And so during the milk challenge, I got milked for like 2 chicken to speak her mind, but I actually told Iris to pour it on me because I'm like the one that stands on business. I address everything right away. I think there was a couple clips like during when Iris and Huda were having that conversation in Soul Ties, and Huda was like, "Oh, that's my dream date." And I was like, "Girl, we didn't plan the date. We didn't even know we were going on a date till we woke up," but they didn't include that. And I think when she was telling Iris or saying like, Iris isn't a girl's girl. And I was like, how is she not a girl's girl? Like she was forced into a couple. So there's a couple times, like, I think we all, I think Shelly especially would also we all did.
Okay.
We all like would say things and be like, girl, you're being crazy. But like, we were all being crazy at times. Like,
Fair.
it's just the name of the game.
Do you think you'll be friends with Huda post show after the show?
I think that we need to have a chat, like completely offline, off camera. And I really did have a good connection with her, but I think I was really hurt, and that's things that we need to talk about, but only time will tell. I don't know how she's going to feel outside. I don't know what's going on outside. So I have no clue what anyone's perception of anything is. So it's a little like you're just kind of sitting there in your room by yourself, like thinking everything's crazy and you don't know.
Loves
but
you.
Yeah, everyone
so I
loves
think you can sleep good at night knowing that everyone loves you.
That makes you feel better because I'm like, oh my God, everybody.
I mean, listen,
don't.
as someone who's been in your shoes before, not Love Island style, but like just have fun with this whole experience. Like stay offline. Truly, like people are fans of you. People might say shit online. Who gives a fuck about any of that shit? Like we had so much fun watching you. You were an absolute delight. You played the game right. You went for it. Like, you should be proud of how you carried yourself, and we're big fans.
Oh, thank you.
All right, Hannah, appreciate your time. I know you have to get going. Best of luck going forward. We hope to see you again somehow, some way on our television set, maybe with the Love Island Challenge or whatever, or maybe there's an after show next season. You never know. So we'll see you around, and best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. All right, finally, we're getting into the valley here. Honestly, the only thing I want to talk about is that stupid man therapy. I mean, who is this guy who is like, he looks
Scott.
like the American Idol winner. What's his name?
Chris Daughtry.
Chris Daughtry, his clone. Like life coach that like fucking Jesse keeps bringing along. It's like, are you a life coach? Are you a bro? Are you part of the friend group? Did they just like at one of the guys in their friend group be like, hey, do you guys want to be our therapist? We're two of like,
when I was taking notes on this episode, I was like, who's therapy, this guy?
Fake rehab, life coaches. What is like?
And the way he was like, so what we're going to do is you're going to tell me all of the things that you are struggling with. And that's called a list. It's like,
that was crazy.
No, that was crazy. It's like, I make one of those
I said, no
every day.
shit.
A list? Like groundbreaking.
I'm a Virgo.
And that's called
I make lists in my sleep.
You know that listen, if you're in your 30s or older and you hang out with your boys like you did in college, you're a loser.
Word.
You're just like, you're supposed to mature as life goes on.
I don't think any of these guys are in their 30s. They're all in their 40s.
Whatever. I'm fine. But that makes them more losers. I just like at some point you have to like grow out of old relationships. Like I'm still like friends with, I have friends from high school, but we don't talk every day. We have lives. We are, and maybe listen, if you're not lucky enough to have a family, or maybe you chose not to have kids,
Nick,
but
they're filming a show. They have to hang out
I don't
together.
give a shit. But but like the way they bond like this, it's just like, why can't they have some more? This is who this group is.
I actually don't think they hang out that often when they're not filming. It's like, I don't think they're that good of friends.
I do think they're fine. Maybe so. Maybe it's just a show. But like, I do think there's a lot of like adult couples out there that like still need to hang out with their friends more than they should. Don't you know?
I mean, if they want to hang out with their friends, I guess I don't really care.
Not that they hang out with their friends, but it's just more like, this might be a show, but there is a legitimate group chat of these guys that is a daily chat that they talk about. That's a real thing, that it's like, I just don't think like people who like have lives and who like are invested in like they're like are waking up and messaging in some like 20 deep group chat like with like locker room jokes.
And to your point, when Jesse was like to Luke that you're blind loyalty to your
wife.
girlfriend.
Your girlfriend, yeah.
Like where it's like, no, because he's in a healthy relationship
Exactly,
and he puts his girlfriend before your needs, Jesse. That's what you're supposed to do in a marriage, let alone a relationship.
Yeah, and I want
the
to
whole
preface,
thing
like
pissed
Luke,
me off.
I think Luke's being dragged down by these men, and Danny seems like an all right guy, a father of 4 who like signed up for a show that he probably regrets doing. The amount of times Danny has to apologize to this fucking cast is fucking crazy. He's apologizing every episode. He's the only one who actually takes accountability, and it's for the dumbest fucking shit.
And they still don't let it go. At the Mexican restaurant, Janet is getting pissed off again about the same old shit.
That's what my biggest gripe with this show is right now, is that I feel like we're still talking about the same drama over and over and over and over and over again. Like, why is Janet bringing up the wedding ring again?
And who's bringing it up over and over and over again?
It's like Janet knows that they're filming a reality show and she needs drama, so she's just like bringing shit up for no reason.
Yes, my boyfriend actually made an astute observation, and he was like, she doesn't fit with what's going on in this scene. And I was like, yes, it's like watching a Real Housewife of New Jersey having lunch with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like you were just yelling at nobody, at dead air.
And Kristen's not even there anymore.
Kristen
she got up and she left 5 minutes ago. I don't know who you're yelling at.
All Janet can say is that she's done. Like, she's done with the tears. She's done with it being intense. She's done with this. She's done with that. It's like, okay, then if you're done, then shut up.
Yeah, be done.
Literally.
We're waiting for you to be done.
And then she's like,
in
the next scene, she's like, I guess I really hurt Nia's feelings because she got up crying. It's like, oh, so you do care that she was crying, or you can't take it when she cries when it gets too intense? You can't do the tears. Like, which one is it?
Or is it that not enough people, once she left, had your back? They actually said to you that was kind of fucked up. And now it's like, oh, I guess I'll have some level of humility and take it back. I'm like, you're making this woman cry. She's been through enough. Like, no. And the whole thing is you drink too much. Isn't your whole gripe with everybody else is that they drink too much and that they're not in control of their behavior?
We gotta get Luke on the show. I want to hear what Luke really thinks of these guys.
Yeah.
I feel like he would talk some
100%.
Yeah.
I also, one thing, just going back to the counselor, wasn't this counselor Jesse's failed marriage counselor with Michelle?
Yes.
It was both of their
It was
counselor.
first season. He failed at keeping your marriage together. He's your personal therapist. You've shown zero growth.
He's not.
And now we're going to do a
Is
men's
he really
therapy?
a therapist?
He's a life coach.
No, he's not giving certified. It's giving accountability coach.
Yeah, it's
not a
life
real job.
coach.
I mean, it was stupid.
This, honestly, the show, I'm done. Like, do you want to talk about being done? I think I'm done with the show. It's so boring. It's so predictable. It's so dark. It's so, like, it's not a fun watch. It's like every time I watch it,
There's
I'm just
nothing
like
like
pissed
redeemable.
off.
Mm-hmm.
It also feels like Groundhog's Day. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Didn't I see this already?
Well, and then it kind of feels like gross too, because I'm like, Danny seems to be supporting his family, doing well as a family man, but it's like they got him to essentially admit about like hiding his drinking on camera, and it's just kind of like, I'm like, okay, and now
that was the biggest breakthrough.
And Jason's like, this is so great, this is huge that he admitted it, and I'm just like, why are you trying to put this on national television? Like, if you cared about this
That's what I'm
person,
saying. None
then
of
you would
them
want
are
them
their
to work on
actual
that on their own.
friends. Like, you don't treat your actual friends this way.
But then you support Jax the day he gets out of rehab being like, oh, yeah, nope, you've got a drinking problem. Like, I wouldn't be pointing fingers, sir, while we're a work in progress for the last 15 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oof.
Moving on to next gen. The only thing, my biggest takeaway this episode, the only thing I really wanted to discuss is I don't think I'll do this as a parent, but the way I really empathize for Charlie. I mean, his dad seems like a real prick. And the
Charlie's awful. Charlie is awful.
Yeah, I know, but he's like, I get why he's awful. I get why he's awful.
He's like, you know what? Actually, now I kind of do want to fuck Ariana.
No, he is awful, but it's clear his dad is like in every scene. He clearly like wants to be famous. He's obviously the successful business person, and the way he competes with Charlie is gross. Like, to be a parent who competes with your kids is
asking
such
all of
awful.
the early 20-year-old girls, like, who's more attractive, me or Charlie? They're all like, it's
that's why Charlie is the way he is. His dad like taught him. His dad is an asshole who basically said you have to be an asshole, and his dad is, obviously professionally successful, and so Charlie his whole life has been, he might be a prick, but when they interview Charlie and he's just like, he has more memories of, like he doesn't know what it's like to feel love from his father. It's like, it's kind of sad. And, it really makes the Mr. Marks, quirky, but a good dad. He seems like a loving father, but yeah.
What is this drama going on with Gia?
Well, she doesn't think there are taxes in Jersey, which is
also not true.
Well, I mean, only maybe in their household. So.
Yeah.
Did you see
If you don't
Teresa
pay
hang
'em.
up on that local news channel and they're like,
She's like, that is not what I signed up for.
Earlier this month, there were rumors swirling that Gia was fired following a cheating scandal at her university.
Why would the show fire her for
Sounds like it was
cheating
all
at
speculation.
school?
yeah, what?
I
They
don't
don't
know.
fire
It sounds like
Jax
it was
for
all
emotionally abusing his wife. Like, I don't think they're going to
You
fire
know?
Gia for cheating on a test.
Sounds like it's all speculation, and Andy Cohen is saying that he's not a producer, but of Next Gen, but it's the first time he's hearing of any discord.
What happened was that people were speculating that Gia was fired from the cast of Next Gen for, in quotes, inappropriate behavior. But Andy was like, I don't know of any of that to be true, but I'm also not a producer.
Wait, so inappropriate behavior at school or?
I don't think she's fired.
I know it as like with the cast. She's not.
No, it's all.
It's supposedly a cheating scandal, but she said, I'm not fired from Bravo, and the cheating scandal is just not true. That never happened. I also graduated 2 years ago, and this story came out like 2 weeks ago. So, the math is just not mathing. People are just bored. They don't have anything better to do or say or post. But no, sadly, guys, I'm still on Bravo. Sorry to break your hearts.
Sadly, guys, I'm still on Bravo.
She is Teresa's daughter.
Yeah, for real.
Well, she's definitely one of the stars. It honestly, like, again, I'm not totally invested yet in the
No.
show. Like, it's a fun watch. She still has the glitz and glamour of New York.
Fun.
It does seem like it's a cast of, like, Charlie aside, like, decent people, which,
Yeah.
says a lot, given, like, they've had some wild upbringings.
And some of them have like crazy jobs, like Georgia's like, oh, I just
cool
throw
concept.
events
Yeah.
and she's like, what, in her 20s? Like, it's just, I don't know. It's like, it's kind of cool seeing like people actually trying to make it in Manhattan with different goals. Like Ariana starting a clothing brand.
Mhm.
Like Ava's a very successful model with her like super successful producer dad. Like, it's just cute seeing them like the different types of lifestyles they lead.
And
like,
a lot of people have like seen these kids grow up.
and even like the way Ava's like, I love talking to my dad because it's just so nice talking to someone who's just so sat and ready to hear everything that I have to say. And it's like, I don't know, it's cute because it's like you would think some of these people would be really out of touch and they seem like very connected with their families. And then you have Charlie on the complete polar opposite end
Right.
and they all kind of come from different places. So
Well, Mary said that if we didn't mention this, she would be really upset. So I'm going to mention this. She wanted us to bring up Georgia's take on dating men in finance. Georgia said, I don't think it's ironic that I'm dating someone in finance because he's not in finance. He's in crypto, which I think is actually the antithesis of like finance jobs. It's way more anarchist, way more radical.
Georgia's an interesting one.
That's a take. I mean, it's a different type of finance, but all right. Well, hopefully the Valley gets more positive. I'll have to drag Nally. I'm not checked out yet. I think I think we have Kristen and Luke.
Kristen and Luke are gonna
I don't know when their
engaged, yeah.
engagement episode is, but I feel like that's going to happen soon because we do know that they
If
are
it's
now
not
engaged
next
in real
episode,
life.
that's going to be annoying.
So we'll have to watch that, and then let's just give we'll give Next Gen some time. But up next, we got the stars of McBee Dynasty, Steven and Kala. Steven, Kala, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us. Excited to be on.
Yeah, excited to be with you guys. As someone who's a big Yellowstone fan, as I'm sure you guys have heard this plenty of times, it's been fun to discover this show, McBee Dynasty. I'm new to the show. I've been catching up. I seen the first episode of this season, but what has this experience been like for y'all? And I'm assuming you guys hear the Yellowstone reference a lot.
We hear it quite a bit, and to us, it's a compliment. I love Yellowstone. I mean, I think it's one of the best series I've seen in recent years, and a lot of what is on that show is very accurate to what takes place on a modern-day farm and ranch, aside from the train station and a few other components that are not accurate. But other than that,
to be clear,
it's
you
a
guys
compliment.
don't murder a lot of people.
Yeah, there's
We don't
no
kill people.
Yeah, there's no murder or anything happening behind the scenes. But it's been an experience. It's been a journey, a roller coaster ride, and I think whenever we first hopped on reality TV for this show specifically, we said we're not going to hide anything. We're going to be raw, authentic. We're going to show all of our flaws in all of their glory, I guess.
How about you, Kala?
It's really not too chaotic. I mean, we did a dating show. That was the first show that we did. And then obviously McBee Dynasty season 1 was completely different than the dating show. But no, I mean, it has its ups and downs, but it's been pretty good overall, for sure.
Steven, obviously, like, your dad's recently kind of made some headlines getting in some legal trouble, and it seems like he's taken a step back from the show. What is that pressure like for you, both, I guess, as the kind of the leading man of the show, but also just on a personal level? Like, how do you balance both, like, the court of public opinion, being there for your family legally? Like, what does that emotional baggage feel like dealing with?
For the last year and a half that this has been ongoing, not only with the show, but the legal issues as well, it's definitely cranked up the pressure and the stress and pressure that I've felt. It's been tremendous, and there's no way I would have gotten through it and gotten to this point thus far if it wasn't for how tight-knit my family is. Having Kala as support, it takes an entire team to get through something like this, let alone run all the businesses day to day. And so I'm just very, very thankful that I do have that family support, the support from Kala to really help me keep going through the hard times.
For the audience, the people listening who may not be familiar with what's going on with your dad, I don't know what you're allowed to say. Obviously, I'm sure there's some, legal elements at play, but everyone loves a scandal. What is your family dealing with as it relates to your dad, and how optimistic are you that you guys are going to be able to work through it?
Yeah, so there is an FBI investigation into my dad and some things that took place in the farming operation. This would have been back in 2018, 2019, is what they're looking at. And we really are kept in the dark. And I'm being 100% honest when I say that, as far as what's taking place in the investigation, where we're currently at. We're hoping to have everything wrapped up by the end of this year, but we have no idea what the fallout is going to be, what the repercussions are going to be. And so really we're just leaning on one another as a family, coming together as a family, and just really being there to support and love and show love to my dad as he goes through this.
Do you know what kind of charges he's facing in terms of like potential years, or, I don't know, what does that look like?
It's all up in the air right now. I think they're coming around to the final conclusions that they're finding. But as far as specifics go, we don't really know. I mean, it is such a wide range of what could happen. And for me specifically, I know if I let myself go down the rabbit hole and spiral to worst case scenario, it's a pretty dark place. So
yeah, for sure.
I try not to think about worst case scenario and just focus, on the task at hand, the businesses that we run day to day, and the positives that we have going on, because we do have so many good things going on. And I hate to say that you compartmentalize, but you try to do your best to do that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I know you mentioned, like, obviously some of the train station aside, but, back to the Yellowstone comparison, there was a lot of storylines between, just like the federal government and then running the farm and just kind of like the difference of opinions of how things should operate. It's kind of fascinating, the correlation between your guys' show and kind of a fictional scripted show like Yellowstone.
There's a quote in Yellowstone, and I think it was maybe John Dutton that said it. He said, "You build something worth having, and everyone's going to try and take it from you." And that is so applicable to a real life modern day farm and ranch, especially one of our size. Seems like every single day we wake up to a new fight, a new battle coming from somewhere. And, like I said, if we didn't have the family support and love, we would never be able to take on what we do day in and day out.
Do you feel like the attention that the show has gotten has, in a way, like put more of a spotlight on you guys in terms of like what, the FBI and the charges your family's facing?
Without a doubt. Yeah, it's not even a question. And, we knew that there was some inherent risk in having a platform. And there are so many good things that come with having a platform, but obviously you do have some downsides too. And that for sure is one of them.
So obviously this is a show that's kind of seems not to be your normal Bravo show. A lot of the Bravo shows are taking places in cities. And why do you feel like this show is something that your average Bravo fan, should start paying attention to?
Because it is so different from the other Bravo shows that are out right now. It just adds that extra like factor to it, don't you think?
Yeah, I would say so. And I can't speak for everyone else's shows, as far as the authenticity or how real they are. I can speak for our own and say that there is not one element of this show that was scripted or preconceived. Like, this is our day-to-day, our everyday lives. What you see on camera is how our lives are off camera 24/7, 365.
Yes. Unfortunately, some of the times, yes.
It's fast. I don't think a lot of people realize this, but you guys met on Joe Millionaire.
Yep.
We did. We met
and
on
so,
a dating show.
Yeah, that's how'd you end up on that show, Calla?
So I was reached out to on Instagram. I was right out of a relationship. This was what, 3 years ago? 4 years?
Yeah, it'd have been
4
first
years,
part of
3 years?
2021.
Yeah. So it was a while ago, but they reached out to me on Instagram and I had like 2,000 followers at the time. And I was like, why not? I'm freshly single. And so went on the show, had no idea the concept of the show, what it was called, anything like that. But yeah, that was a wild time.
Mhm. It was. Yeah, for me, it was the same thing. They reached out on Instagram, and where my farmhouse is, I live 5 miles from my nearest neighbor. So you hop on a dating app, and I think the radius that you can expand is like 100 or 150 miles. And I would expand that thing all the way, and I still couldn't reach like a major city. So you're fishing in a very, very, very small pond in a small town like that. And I was like, okay, conventional dating styles are not working here. Maybe a dating show will be the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, it must have been wild for you, like, and having all these, I'm assuming, beautiful women show up, and pickings must be slim in a small town.
Yes.
Oh, he made sure to make out with every single person on that show. He was like getting his fix.
I enjoyed the show. It was fun. It was
So
fun during filming.
what set Calla apart from the rest of them?
I just think that we have a lot of similar values, family values for sure. And so she, born and raised in Dallas, grew up in some suburbs of Chicago, moved back to Dallas. So she's a Midwestern girl at heart. The majority of the women were from West Coast, East Coast. So there was a lot of things that we just struggled to find similarities on, me being from the Midwest. And I think Calla and I just hit it off right from the very get-go.
Yeah, we're also pretty opposite when it comes to a lot of things, but I think that helped our relationship too. We really balanced each other out in a lot of ways.
For sure.
Do you ever take him out back to the city, Calla?
Occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've gotten dressed up a few times.
Yeah. He'll pull out a collared shirt every now and then.
I never lose the boots and
the boots and the hat stay, but yeah, we've enjoyed ourselves in Dallas.
What can people expect this season on McBee Dynasty? Is it mostly drama? Is it love? Like what are we looking at, and what can people look forward to?
Oh, it's a mix of it all. I mean, you have the interpersonal relationships. You have my dad and his women, and I say that plural, that he is dating, and all of the issues that fall out from that, and what us boys have to pick up from all of his dating and issues that he has. You have Calla's and I's relationship, which has its roller coaster ride throughout the season. My brother's getting married. Another one has a baby on the way.
Yep.
And
don't forget Galena.
Yeah, Galena, who is our CFO / my dad's ex-girlfriend, who my dad is now dating her best friend, ex-best friend. So that's just messy enough as it is. So you put all these elements together, then you throw an FBI investigation and trying to run a farm and ranch day to day. And it's a mess. It's a train wreck, but it's a fun train wreck to watch.
How do you keep that mental health afloat, Stephen?
A lot of evening walks on the farm, walking up and down. So my driveway is about a mile-long gravel drive, and we'll go walking up and down that about 3 or 4 times a day, especially on the high anxiety days.
And Calla, and I was watching episode 1. I believe it was you, but like you opened up, you've dealt with some tragedy in your family as well.
Yes. My little sister, Mallory, she passed away last year, 2 months before we started filming.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a very difficult year. It still is very difficult for me to think about and talk about. But yeah, you see that unfold, and everything was happening in real time, and just me going through the process of grieving and processing all of those emotions plays out on the show.
Man, that must be tough. So how do you guys, come together, the two of you, because, usually when relationships deal with some difficult times, it either brings you closer together or breaks you apart. Like, how do you feel like it brings you guys closer together?
I would say hindsight's 2020, and this season 2, getting to watch it back is really a good self-reflection for how I was or was not there for Calla in the way that she needed us to be there. And I think it's just it's a good showing for my family and I, and just understanding that hey, some of the ways that we acted, some of the ways that we were there to support or did not support Calla, if I could do it all over again, I would probably have changed the way that I acted, some of the things that I did or said. But you get to watch all of this unfold on season 2, for better or worse, highs and lows. We lay it all out there.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time. McBee Dynasty is now on Bravo. It used to be on Peacock. It's the one of the few shows that's gone in that direction. It is at 9 p.m. June 30th. It comes out, so be sure to check it out. Congratulations to you guys on another season of McBee Dynasty. Wishing you guys the best of luck, and I hope everyone tunes in.
Thank you.
very much.
Thanks for having us.
I appreciate you guys. Take care. All right. Thank you to all of our guests, Paul, Scheer, Hannah from Love Island, Steven, and Kella from McBee Dynasty. We will see you next week, which will be a shortened week, an adjusted week next week. But coming back on Reality Recap, we will break down the new released cast of Perfect Match, since this episode's already forever long. But we'll do that, so much more. Talk a little Love Island. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you then. Bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.